Darkcast Network. Indie pods with a dark side.
Welcome to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. And I'm your host, Alanna.
And I'm Kelsey.
And I was just desperately trying to figure out what episode this was. I think you said it was 166, but I'm all mixed up in my numbers now. Okay, welcome to episode 166, where I actually know what I'm doing. No, we all know that's not the case. But yeah, hope you enjoyed last week's, and I guess spooky season is over. The Christmas creep is really starting to come in.
It's creeping in.
Yeah, that's what they call it, right? I heard that somewhere today. Like, oh, it was some podcaster where she was like, I couldn't believe there was no Halloween stuff to buy like a week before Halloween, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, everybody knows they just friggin' get rid of it. I'm like, you don't shop very much, do you?
Yeah, we put our stuff on like final clearance, and then we wrote everything off I think the day after Halloween. Everything like Thanksgiving, Harvest, Halloween, all that got written off and it's gonna get donated.
Yeah, she was looking for pumpkin candles. It was, I was listening to, it was the wrestler ladies I like to listen to, Nikki and Bree, Bella Garcia, whatever they're going by now. And so she's like desperately trying to find pumpkin spice candles or whatever. And I'm like,
We gotta start looking in like August.
Yeah. I'm like, are you for real? Like,
it's peppermint now. Peppermint everything. Come on.
Yeah, I know she doesn't like to shop a lot because she's kind of like tries to be very much more environmentally friendly than her twin. But I was like, yeah, what are you doing? Also, why do you need it to smell like pumpkins all week or whatever?
Damn.
But them Americans, they're all like, oh, yay, Halloween, and now Thanksgiving and Christmas. Oh, I walked into the Walmart today and there was just Christmas trees right by the door. I was like, really?
Yeah. My work is full Christmas everywhere you look. I'm surprised they haven't started playing Christmas music, but...
Oh, I haven't even taken down all my Halloween decorations.
I haven't taken down a single thing. This is probably the latest I've ever had them up. I normally take them down almost the day after.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
We'll hold on to it. We'll fight the Christmas creep any way we can.
Yeah.
As well as any other creeps. I don't know. It's been a week. There was an election. People are talking about it. All my American podcaster friends were like, I hope by the time this comes out, we know something good. And I'm like, oh, I think you're all going to be disappointed.
Oh, you sweet summer child. My
the
whole
Trump
family
Trudeau unholy union is back together. No. Sorry.
My whole family, like, we were so optimistic. We really,
yeah.
we believed that a miracle, like landslide was gonna happen and the world would be better, but it didn't happen.
Not, yeah. I don't know. It's hard because with politics, you're supposed to usually be like, well, you know, they're all people and not one of them's evil, and everybody's supposed to be allowed to truly, right, vote for whoever they want and keep it secret if they want. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're just like, wait, wasn't that one convicted? And like,
yeah, I was gonna say, one's a woman who has opinions, and the other one's a convicted felon who shouldn't have even been able to run.
That was basically, like, I saw this clip that Air Farce was doing a special about it, and it was like going around the table. I'm not sure if it was Rick Mercer or one of the other guys.
Oh shit, really?
And he was like asking people like, which one should we vote for? And it was like, I don't know. One's a convicted felon, and the other one's like, I just can't put my finger on it. She's just too womany or something like that. They were just like, yes, that's just it. Hillary was the same way. Big woman vibes. I was like, oh my God, this is really funny. But sad.
Yeah. On the internet, they're like, just God forbid anybody other than a woman. Like,
Right? Ugh.
I think
I don't know.
I posted something somewhere in the comments that I was like, they should have just voted for a tree, like just a tree in the forest, and then just listen to their
Oh,
top advisors every time something comes up that they need to figure out. Just get a panel of like people educated in that subject, and then have that panel vote, and that's what the American government should do. Listen to the experts and not
pretend to take it
somebody.
to the tree. Yeah.
Yeah, pretend to take it to the tree. I don't know, nail it to the tree, see if the tree answers.
Oh,
It's like
shit.
maybe listen to your experts and people, because you can't be an expert on everything, and the president or people trying to run a
Yeah.
country, that's a lot of things that they're trying to handle, and they have to be able to listen to the experts that they're supposed to be relying on. And if
Right. It's not just the
they aren't
one
doing that,
person
you have
doing
yeah, you have
everything.
problems. You can't have one person that knows everything or knows a solution to everything. That's not realistic, but you need somebody who's going to listen to advice at least.
A trainable dog. Well,
Yeah.
that's often what they want is, just a puppet, but I don't know. It's just scary, but also you're like, well, maybe that many people really, want him in or whatever, or then
Well,
maybe it's like a
apparently,
Cambridge Analytica situation again, where they were like all doing lobbying and shitty stuff on Facebook, and I don't
I
know. I can't
think
remember the
so.
exact
I did
misinformation
read
campaigns. Yeah.
I haven't looked it up, but I did read somewhere that it said in total, like in the number of like individual votes he received, I guess it was definitely down from the number of votes he received the first time. So I think that's good news. But I mean, uh, votes for the Democrats were even less than that,
Yeah.
so it just didn't work. But yeah, I'd be
We
hopeful at least
reelected
if he's
Trudeau, and people didn't really
yeah.
claim to not like him very loudly. So it's confusing. It really is that whole, like, you know, two-party system where we really have
Oh yeah.
the same thing, even though, oh yeah, we're supposed to like have a, whatever they call it, an opposition when they have it, a more minority government here. It's like, so you're kind of working
Yeah.
together. I mean, you should all be working together because it is good to have differing views. Anyway, I didn't realize I
Yeah.
had a rant in me. I'm sorry.
Well, I was telling somebody too, like, for most things, I think government wise are trying to pass bills or
Yeah.
do things, even trying to like stimulate or fix the economy or anything. 4 years can pass by so quickly, and trying to have a positive impact on something can take longer than 4 years. So if every 4 years people are changing what the plan is, how are things trying to get better in like the long term? If like every 4 years
Yeah.
somebody's doing something totally different, I think
Excuse
it
me.
can be really hard that way for like both sides for sure.
I read something that did say for like, yeah, for the first 2 years, the
Yeah.
what's happening is from the last person's,
Yeah.
te- presidency or whatever, because it's the things that they implemented, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, all the people that what he put in the Supreme Court the last time, wouldn't they be the ones who decided, oh, let's just overturn Roe versus Wade or whatever?
Yeah. They're
Because
still
like,
there a lot. Most of them, what, isn't that a lifetime?
oh,
Basically until they
appointment,
die. Yeah.
I think so.
I
Rip
don't think you
Ruth
should be
Bader
allowed
Ginsburg.
to. Yeah, I don't think you should be allowed to be appointed anything for a lifetime. That
No.
I don't think anybody should be able to ever be granted that. Like,
It's so crazy. It's like, and I'm reading my historical fiction going like, yeah, they used to argue about who should be on the throne then because it's like, oh, it's only whoever's born to it. But then, uh-oh, they changed religions. Oh no, we don't want a Catholic or whatever. So fuck him, kill everybody and put a Protestant back on the throne or whatever it was. It's goes back
Yeah.
and forth with the whole Jacobite, Tudor, all the British.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, it's changed, but it's not. It's vicious still.
It's the same arguments.
It's the
People
haves
are
and the
dying.
have-nots. Yeah.
People aren't getting paid enough. People can't feed their
Mhm.
families.
We want to
Certain people
rise
don't
up in
have the rights
rebellion.
they should.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same. Just the names have switched, or like who's in what position have switched. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Purportedly, we elect them now instead of them just being like, "Oh, I'm a Habsburg," or whatever. My cousins, my parents were cousins. Yeah.
Yeah. Get Nepo baby presidents.
Oh. We still got a king technically, but we don't give him any power in our country. It's wild. Who knows what's happening?
Yeah. Nobody knows.
I don't know. I'm sorry. What are we talking about again? I feel like I'm on Tangent Island today. Space Cadet.
I know, it's been a while since we recorded.
Except for the ghost thing that we tacked on that I was like, wait, I
Oh,
needed to
yeah.
read you this ghost story. And it made us laugh a lot, actually.
Yeah, perfect. Well.
Yeah. Well, anyway. That was fun. Yes. And I'm sure this one won't be as fun, so...
Yeah, I was gonna say, this one, at least mine I know isn't fun.
No. When you're back in the true crime sphere, you can never really say it's fun, but...
Unless we're doing, like, petty crimes about people throwing, like, chicken nuggets at people or something.
Yeah, I heard one about a guy or something, and he tried to steal a slutty nurse costume.
Ooh.
I think that was on the Live, Laugh, Larceny or whatever.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta listen to just some of those petty crime ones or whatever. Some funny shit.
Yeah, damn. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, mine's pretty bad too. I don't know. Should we dive into it? I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared, Kelsey.
Well.
Hold me.
I'll give you I was like, how do I'll hug the screen?
Virtual
Tap.
hug.
Oh no, she finished her drink already. Wow.
Shh. It's a beverage that's the kind of the hair of the dog that bit me yesterday too. But it's like I can't record. I need to put some pep in my step because I was literally like kind of hungover this morning almost. Because I shouldn't have drank something on a weeknight. Anyway, I'm sure whatever. It's like the pay goes in my account, and then I'm like, it's the weekend, right? It's like no, it's still Thursday night. You just calm down there. Take it back about 20%, Alanna. You have to go to work tomorrow, you crazy girl. Oh, I know. I'm a 36-year-old drunken dumbass. I get it. I owned up to my mistakes. I went to work. It was rough.
Aw. At least you said it was kind of slower.
Yeah, we only had 1,000 plates left in our queue this morning. And then by the time I left, there was like 51. They're like, careful, Alanna, you have half an hour to go left. You know, just run out of plates. It's been a while since we've been this caught up because we'll have like 20 to 30,000 to do every month. And so it's, and then they're like, oh yeah, those ones where their payment declined or whatever got rejected for the first time, we're going to dump them in with some retries now. So you're going to have to try them again for these stupid people that we've told their thing didn't work once and they haven't updated their shit yet. Yay!
just call them like 100 times.
We email them and call them, and then with the retries, we email them and call them again.
It's probably just going to spam. I got an email talking about the emergency roadside kits that were like a scam, saying click here to claim your giveaway thing, and I hadn't heard about it, and then in the next week I got 9 of those emails. So I was like, wow.
Right? Oh yeah, the scammers love that, because people do say we have a lot of emails, but holy fuck, we have a lot of different departments. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Different services that you could have stuff going on with that we
If
need
you
to
have
follow
10
up with
vehicles signed up for automatic renewal, you're gonna get 10 different fucking like emails with each plate we process. Like, whatever, you know what I mean? Kelsey, tell me a story.
I have, well, I almost said a fun one. It's not fun, but it is a love triangle gone wrong.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. How
Not
do
to
I know
bury
the
the lead.
women are gonna get fucked over?
No, actually, this time it's sadly a husband.
I wonder if I know this one. Okay.
I hadn't really heard about it. There's not a whole lot of information on this case. It is decently recent. It's 2018.
Decently recent. I like that.
Yeah, because I feel like the last 4 years was a blur. So really, was this only 2 years ago?
Right.
It could have been.
I had to keep looking up what years mine happened in too. But
I know,
also
right?
that's because there's like multiple shootings with a very similar name, so isn't that fun? Because there's just so many shootings in the US.
Jeez, yeah.
Ugh.
I was talking to somebody because I got a new credit card in the mail, and the expiry said November, and then it said -30, and I'm like, wait, is 2030 gonna be like an actual year? Like,
right?
It's that seems fake, but okay.
Well, that's a far expiry date away to be like 6 years
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
It's like, I was like, oh, it just kind of like took me back. I was typing it into something, and I was like, oh, 2030. I didn't even want to think of that.
I had a lady say like the same thing about her expiry date.
Yeah. I'm like, no thanks. I can barely comprehend having to write 2025 on stuff pretty soon, but
yeah, 2001 A Space Odyssey still sounds fucking futuristic.
Yeah, right?
But also you're like, that's like 24 years ago. No. We're fine. Everything's dust.
So this is I got a little bit of backstory first. Not a whole lot. There wasn't a whole lot to find or discuss about this case, but it revolves around a gentleman named Tyrone Hassell III.
Whoa. Hassel?
Yeah. Hassel.
Right. Hasselhoff without the Hoff.
Yeah. Basically.
A guy told me the other day, he's like, I'm like, okay, and who am I speaking to, please? And I have like their name pulled up already. I'm just confirming or whatever. He's like, Ryan Page, Page, like in a book. I almost died. I'm sorry. I was just like, okay, yep.
Yeah.
You still at this address? A book? What's that? Can you imagine?
Where you get the edumacation? Book with the words and the hi Gordo. Gordo made an entrance. Okay.
They could sing that Belle song could be about me where they're at the beginning of Beauty and the Beast was like da, 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 her nose stuck in a book. Just walking around with her. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Gordo, you're gonna fall off the desk if you try and lay down.
Gordo.
Yeah, so it gets a little confusing because there's a lot of quotes from Tyrone's dad, who is Tyrone Hassell Jr.
Right.
Yeah.
Tyrone Jr. Okay.
Yeah, so Tyrone Jr. is going to be dad. If I say Tyrone, that's just our main individual. He had...
Yeah, that's a bit rough.
Yeah.
I'll follow along.
Tyrone had actually decided to enlist in the military while he was in college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty young.
And yeah, all of these people are so young.
Oh.
His
Oh no.
father had said, quote, he was motivated to do better. He lived here and he knew it wasn't nothing here, nothing going on. And I have a golden
Oh.
cuddle.
Yeah. There's no jobs there, obviously.
No,
Or that's what
I
I would
know.
take that as.
Yeah, I know the father at the time lives in Michigan. So I'm not sure exactly if that's where they had grown up or where they were from, but
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, but I think it's later on I have a quote saying like he was like a hero of the community. Like people really looked up to him and he was such a smart and bright kid. Uh so
Oh.
yeah, it's really heartbreaking.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah. In
So, yeah.
2015, Tyrone ends up meeting Camilla, who was also in the military. They were both stationed at Fort Carson in Colorado.
Okay.
And yeah,
The Rocky
and
Mountains, just south of us.
their relationship became serious quickly. Tyrone's father said when he heard of his relationship with Camilla, he had already gotten engaged. So it moved pretty quickly, I
Oh,
guess. He hadn't even heard that his son was in a relationship until they were already engaged.
wow. I
Yeah,
wonder if that surprised him. I would imagine it would.
I think so. The couple were really happy though, and it said that the family really got along, and the wife was really good, and the couple ended up pretty quickly having a son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just get her done. They're in college, they're in the military, they're in each other's
Yeah.
pants.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly like how long the timeline. I mean, they met in 2015 and the case takes place in 2018, so that's only 3 years later. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Uh
sometimes surprises do happen.
yeah. So it's December 31st, 2018, New Year's Eve. Uh about 11 p.m. when Camilla ends up having to call 911 and she tells the operator that she needs help and that her husband has been shot.
Oh,
So,
shit.
yeah. Uh, so, like, police respond, and that's when they find RB Sergeant Tyrone Hassell III laying lifeless on the driveway. He had been shot multiple times as he had stood near his vehicle. Gordo, your hair is flying
Oh.
everywhere, and I do not appreciate it.
No,
Very
the
hard to
return of the
talk when
cat hair.
I can feel stuff on my face. And yes, you're very cute, though. You're very cute.
He was doing that last time.
I know. Uh, so Tyrone had been shot in the head, the neck, and the torso. So multiple times while he stood like in the driveway.
Oh, wow. So, like, from the
Yeah.
front?
I think so. Didn't really see anything specific, but yeah, at least he got shot at least 3 times, the head, the neck, and the
Wow.
torso. And he was rushed to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead.
Damn.
The couple had actually been enjoying a leave away from the military for the holidays, and they had
Oh.
been staying at Tyrone's father's house in Michigan with their nearly 2-year-old son.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it Tyrone the Fourth? I need to know.
I know his name is Tyrone.
Oh, the
Yeah, but he
babies.
has a yeah,
Oh.
the baby's nickname is actually Chunk. Like
Chonk.
yeah,
All right.
Chunk.
I
Which
was
I thought
thinking you
was
were gonna say
hilarious
TJ or
because
something. Like.
oh Oh,
Sorry.
that'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't until one of my last sources that it actually named the son. Everything else before that just said, and their son Chunk. I was like, their son's name cannot be Chunk. It can't be the kid's name. They
It's
wouldn't do
Chuck.
that.
Yeah, someone made a typo and everybody just keeps saying, well,
But it was like
must be
4
Chunk.
sources.
Right.
It was like 4 sources that just kept saying, and their son Chunk. God damn it.
Yeah, that's a little frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, so they were on leave. I'm not sure who their son normally stays with, if it was like Tyrone's father, or if
okay.
stays
Like if
with
they
them,
both
but
get deployed at once, do you mean? Or like
it sounded like they normally are, because it talks about them being at a base with somebody else all the time. So I don't really.
just be living in a PMQ on the base. That's
Yeah.
what Pat always called the little houses. I can't
Yeah,
remember
not
what it stands
exactly
for.
sure.
Yeah.
Tyrone at the time had been working as a wheel mechanic, and then Camilla, wife, she was a specialist. She had been working as a truck driver, and they had
and
been.
you know what? I think if they get married, they get to live in a little house on the base. Maybe that's why they get married so young. Anyway, sorry, just thought.
Oh,
It's occurred to
maybe.
me. Yeah.
They were really young. Like,
Yeah.
he at the time was only 23 and Camilla was only 22.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That sounds similar to how old Pat was when he first got married. And they were both in the military too. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh. Creepy.
Camilla was working as a truck driver, and they were stationed at the Fort Stewart in Georgia.
Okay. Georgia. They film a lot of shit there. Did you watch any of...
Peach.
Oh, no, I guess... Anyway, sorry. My ADD is showing. I was gonna... You didn't watch most of the Marvel, so I was like, she probably didn't watch any of the Agatha all along. That just came
I
out.
watched that, yeah.
You did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. And I think it was one of those words like filmed in Georgia or whatever after every damn episode. So you're like, oh.
Oh, I didn't notice that. But no, I liked it. It was cute.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And I can't stop singing the Witches Road song ever.
Yeah. Right.
So catchy. Apparently it's on Spotify.
Oh, damn. Yeah. I mean, they played it almost every episode.
Right.
Just like, how many variations can we do of the same song? Endless amount, apparently.
Is it stuck in your head yet? Is it stuck in your head yet? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. We could do a remix, Down the Rabbit Hole. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Yeah, so police noted that Camilla was distraught at her husband's seemingly random shooting.
Right.
There was a gentleman named Jeremy Pepper, who was one of the police officers who responded at the scene. His
Pepper Saltzman from Modern Family. No.
There's a different Jeremy that comes up later.
No.
So I do want to say they are spelled different. This Jeremy, that's the police officer, is spelled Jaramee, which I don't think I had ever seen before.
Jeremy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah. But yeah, he was one of the cops responding to the scene, and he stated that when we were lifting the gurney into the back of the ambulance that got him in there, and I stepped back, that she, Camilla, was going past me to climb into the back of the ambulance. I think that's pretty typical, like you would do with a spouse. I mean, like, just got shot in the driveway.
She wants to be close to him. Are they not allowed to?
Yeah.
I can't remember if you're supposed to be in there, or maybe if the paramedic's the only one who's allowed.
I don't know. I think it might depend, kind of like what the situation is, but
yeah.
Police obviously, they started investigating pretty quickly, trying to figure out like why this happened, and the father, Tyrone Jr., says that the family really came together to help Camilla as she was mourning, and like trying to make sense of what happened. And he said,
Well,
quote,
yeah.
quote,
Crazy.
most of the day she would just sit on the couch and wouldn't move, wouldn't go nowhere. Which, I mean, I think that would be, anybody would be like that.
Yeah, how confusing. And they have no idea at all? It's weird.
They get a couple tips later on that helps them figure out what was really going on.
But she must be so confused. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to what really...
We'll see.
There's some stuff going behind the scenes.
Of course.
They said that the Hassell family was really cooperating with the police, and Camilla was telling them that she had stayed at home with their son while Tyrone had attended a family party, because again, it was New Year's Eve, and it was almost midnight already, so he had gone out to go to like a little family party they were having, and she had stayed home with their son. And she told investigators that she really had no idea who would have targeted her husband like that, or why he would have gotten shot.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very scared now for this. Yep. Okay.
So,
should have seen where this was going a little faster. True crime. Oh.
This is where things get interesting and the cops start unraveling everything.
Please give me some more suspects. As I only have the wife so far that you've introduced me to or to go on.
Well, this is another gentleman. He is involved. His name is Jeremy. I don't know if it's like Kuehler?
Normal spelled Jeremy?
Suhler? Yeah, this is normal Jeremy. Kuehler? I don't know how you would pronounce his last name. I'm just gonna call him Jeremy. He was 24 at the time, and he was also an active duty soldier. He had been like at the same station and everything that the Hassells had been at, so he knew them both. And he and Camilla were arrested just 11 days after the shooting.
And Camilla?
Following the police receiving I'd say like multiple different tips. So it sounds like the first one that they get was that a neighbor had noticed a man getting into a black car right after the shooting had happened. And then pretty quickly after that, they received another tip, this time from a woman who claimed that her son was in the military, and that this woman said that her son had information that Camilla was having an affair with another soldier that was at the base, and that this person was Jeremy.
Oh no. That's the oldest one in the book, the oldest motive.
Right?
Ugh. It's like, come on, can you not be such a cliche? Have you ever heard, what did we say was, I think I wrote it down that it was going to be our new tagline, because it's like, haven't you ever heard of divorce? Just get a divorce!
Oh yeah, we said that like 100 times in the one episode. Yeah, it can be very frustrating. That's like 50% of true crime cases. Just get a fucking divorce!
Right.
Yeah, so they get the tip that there was like a black car spotted in the area and a man getting into it. And then there's another tip that Camilla's having an affair with somebody at the military base. And then police get contacted by a separate soldier from that same base who says that he's fearing for his own safety after hearing about Tyrone's shooting from Jeremy directly, who ends up like, for some reason, I don't really know why, ends up describing like shooting Tyrone, which is really weird. He talks about how like he shot him in the driveway and then he got closer and realized Tyrone was still alive, so he shot him in the forehead like a second time or something. And yeah, and he was just like, apparently Jeremy was just telling this to one of his friends that was at the military base, and this guy's like, he knows that I know this and stuff. So he was afraid of, like, if Jeremy would come after him. Which, yeah,
Yes.
I thought that was a little weird.
Well, reminds me of a Forensic Files or one of those type of shows. It might not have been actually
Yeah.
that, but I was watching one the other day, and like the they were so young when the crime was committed that he did talk about it to a friend or something. Horrible crime. They raped a woman, and because one of them said the other guy's name, they decided to put her in the trunk of her car and push her into a lake when they were like 15.
Jeez.
Yeah. And like the one kid kept talking about it to this other boy they knew or whatever, but
Yeah.
this kid was so scared because he's like, they're gonna come after me if I snitch. Like he's like, this was the 90s, there was like snitches, whatever, things all over the
Yeah.
place. Yeah, like, and so yeah, he was so scared, and he finally came forward and actually like it was the only thing, basically the only evidence to help solve this case. And like he got so much flack from like his community, his family, his friends for like telling the
Really?
truth and coming forward. Apparently, it was very. I
Wow.
cried, so it was such an emotional episode, and like he wasn't staying anonymous because he's just like still scared. And like the family was like
Damn.
thanking him and stuff, like and hugging him, and I was just like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god!" I'm sobbing. Like, oh
I'd be
yeah,
like, I'll adopt you. Like, fuck.
right. Oh
Yeah. Oh my
yeah,
god. Yeah, if you don't
yeah,
want to get snitched on, don't do a fucking crime. Don't
right.
deserve it.
Yeah, I remember the lady's name was Barbara, but that's all I remember from.
Damn.
But go look it up.
Yeah.
No.
Um, but yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Um,
Like
yeah,
why?
so
Yeah,
like
why is he
this
just
person,
volunteering the information? Sorry.
yeah, it was so weird. So yeah, like that additional soldier comes forward. So the police are really like, okay, like we gotta talk to Camilla, we gotta talk to this Jeremy guy. They place Jeremy under surveillance, and they're able to figure out that he, I guess, had bought two different handguns from somebody that was in the at the military base, and then he
Oh,
had bought additional like ammunition somewhere, and they were able to trace this all back to him, and
hmm.
they were able to figure out that one of the guns that he had in his possession matched the one that had been used to shoot Tyrone. And then they matched
Okay.
his car, like license plate, I think it was, to like being in the area at the time of the shooting. And I don't even think he was
Really?
supposed to be in the same state or something. So they were like, yeah, like why
They
was he
didn't.
here within hours of the shooting in a
They didn't
different
even
state when
try
he
to
should have been?
like cover it up. They're just like, might
Yeah,
as well have been broad daylight for all that. They just walked up,
right?
popped him, and like left. And then it's like, you don't think people are gonna have questions about that? Like,
Yeah, it was like so weird.
you're not gonna try
Um,
and poison him or something, like, like most
right? Yeah.
women. I don't know.
Camilla and Jeremy had been obviously having an affair, and they had planned Tyrone's murder together. The three of
Damn.
them had been assigned to the 1st Armored Brigade Combat Team, 3rd Infantry Division at Fort Stewart in Georgia. So, like, they had presumably all three of them known each other for I don't know how long, at least a little while.
Oh, because they were all in that infantry unit. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, like, police have all this pieced together, and they're questioning Camilla, like, over different times. And obviously, they kind of start pressing her about, like, who Jeremy is and how it could be related to it. And she initially denies any involvement with him, but eventually, as they kind of mount the evidence they have against him and her, she eventually confesses to what happened,
Wow.
stating that the pair had planned to kill Tyrone so that they could finally be together and collect the Army's $400,000 life insurance benefit,
Ah, there we
that
go.
they would have
You don't get that
received.
with the divorce.
Yeah, and then there was some stuff like I might have it later that Jeremy like had even had like a bond with their son, like the couple's son and everything, and he thought they were like gonna be a little family. They just had to kill Tyrone first, and then they'd be a happily little family. It's so weird. I blame it on the fact that you're dealing with like 22-year-old, a 23-year-old, and a 24-year-old. Like they're all just
It's just that kind of
can't.
sick thinking of like,
Yeah, your
you know,
brains
if I
aren't fully
can't have
developed.
you or what I want, then yeah, like
Yeah.
nobody can. We'll just kill you. It's just easier. You're just out of the picture.
Yeah.
Okay. In what world does your brain like that? That's the first thing you go to. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, so Camilla, she ends up doing these videotaped interviews, obviously, with detectives.
Are they?
Where
Can I ask? Are they like? Are they all white, black?
they're all black.
Okay.
Yeah, there is some pictures on the drive.
Oh,
I
okay.
like the ones of like Tyrone with his dad.
The
I
name
watched an
Tyrone doesn't
interview.
strike me as much of a white guy name. That's what that should have been my first clue, but I was just confirming, I guess.
Yeah, his
Oh.
dad is really, really well spoken,
Oh.
and he's done a lot of interviews, and he says he'll like never ever stop talking about this case because he wants like more people to know about his son. He doesn't ever want his son to be forgotten and everything. And
Oh, that's good. That makes you feel
yeah,
good about telling it then, you know? That's
I was like, no, that's good. He has done quite a few interviews, and he's seems like he'd be, I don't know, like an amazing like father figure. Like I
Oh,
wish I had known more about um like his son Tyrone to like provide more information other than
sure.
like a couple quotes saying like everybody in the community was so proud of him and stuff.
Yeah.
But
That's the
yeah.
frustrating part. Everybody says that, like the lack of information on the victims is very
Yeah.
telling of our society.
There's some longer interviews like that are out there that you can watch. I kind of ran out of time to watch them, but I'll put them up on the
Okay.
website. But yeah, his father seems so well spoken and everything that yeah. But yeah, it did make a difference, I guess, in deciding to like cover this case when he was really talking about like how much he wants to talk about the case and wants it in the public eye and all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, nothing scarier for us to think that somebody's gonna get mad at us for telling their kid's story or something. Like that's a scary thing as a true crime
Yeah,
podcaster. Yeah.
for sure.
You always want to
Cuz
do
you
the
do
victims
hear
justice.
yeah, and you do hear about people being
Hmm.
upset and stuff about it.
I
I mean,
heard
I
that
don't know
about
how
a
I'd
case
feel.
after I covered it. Remember the Aaron, um, uh, the Mr. Gay Austria. What was his name? He went missing after he was in that sauna. He was living in
Yeah.
Austria, but his mom, like he was American born. And then I heard from, you know, some of our podcast friends that like, oh, I heard she's not thrilled about people covering that sometimes. So good for you. And I was like, ah, I was so scared.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm just like, I hope I did it justice. Like I heard so it had been covered on someone else's podcast, and I thought they did a great job. So I just, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Um
Anyway, the mom was pretty badass, so I was like, don't come after me.
yeah,
I'm
right.
scared of you.
Yeah, so in like these taped interviews that Camille was doing with detectives, she was saying like I'm just as guilty as he is, talking about Jeremy and having like contacted Jeremy with multiple updates about Tyrone's whereabouts so that Jeremy could gun him down. Like
Oh
just being like, "Oh, he's on
no.
the move. Oh, he's home again. Oh, he's going out to grab this. He's putting on his coat. You can hit him now." Like
Those
just
fucking ones. Like with
it's so bad.
yeah, the
I
person
hate
on the
it.
inside of like the inside job
Yeah.
is the spouse and they're given all
It's
the
not just
info.
like, oh, we planned that he was gonna shoot him and then it was gonna happen that night. Like she's literally
Yeah.
yeah. Camilla told police that Jeremy had gone to Michigan at least 4 times between December 19th and 31st so that they could, like, in person try and plan the murder. And then additional planning was taking place over Snapchat. I also,
Okay. He's not,
yeah,
the Jeremy guy's not living there?
no. Like, I don't know where he
Okay.
was, but he wasn't even supposed to be in the state. That's why, like, when they linked his car to being in that area, they're like, "Okay, buddy, like, why the fuck were you here if it wasn't to shoot
Oh, he
him?"
was working
Yeah.
somewhere else. Yeah, okay.
So I don't think I kept it, but I did read somewhere that um it said that uh Camilla had gotten, like, upset because Jeremy kept kind of, like, flaking out like 6 different times, and she was getting fed
Oh,
up, like, different days that the shooting
no.
was supposed to take place. And she was, like, putting pressure on him, and then she started messaging him that, hey, our leave is up in 2 days and we're supposed to go back, and he is not allowed to come back. Like, you hear
Oh
me? Like, he
my
is not coming
God.
back from, yeah, like, he is not coming back from this leave. That's not how this is going to go down, and you have to do it. You've already flaked out 6 times. Yeah, just this
Wow, what
woman
a
is
shrew.
awful.
So, yeah, she was
Yeah,
pressuring him. I
yeah.
That reminds me of a case similar, or has a similar thing where the person's ex-wife had tried to hire like multiple different hitmen.
Oh, yeah.
You're
It's
like,
wild.
what? Are you stupid?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they don't get caught right away, so I guess it's like
Yeah.
I might call them stupid, but it's crazy how far people can get with this shit. And like
I don't know
obviously,
what would have happened without
yeah.
all the tips that happened between, like
Yeah.
the other people in the military, and everything, really saying, like, what they had overheard and the knowledge that they had once they heard about the shooting. So kudos to them, because that
Right.
really, I think, is what got this, like, case going, because it didn't sound like they had anything else that they could figure out before that.
Yeah.
Um,
Circumstantial. There's no DNA struggle. Like, yeah, it's just very
yeah, nothing
execution
that,
style.
yeah, nothing that it even mentioned. Um, yeah, so, like, Camilla and Jeremy, they were, what? Jeremy was arrested, I think, on the 11th day after the shooting, and I think it said that Camilla was arrested the next day, on the 12th day from the shooting, which was the day after Tyrone's funeral, or a couple days after.
Oh,
Yeah.
good God.
And yeah, I read different things everywhere. One of the sources said they were both charged with first-degree premeditated murder.
I would
Um,
think they're so
yeah.
culpable with all the
Yeah,
texts.
like,
Yeah.
um,
I can so hear Gordo just going crazy with his bottle cap.
I I know. Sounded like a herd of rhinos. Are are you having fun?
Rhino's wearing
Um,
tap shoes. Click, 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 click,
yeah.
click.
Click, 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 click.
Or the house hippos from the old commercial we had in Canada that was
Yes.
to teach you to not believe everything you see. I talked about the house
It
hippos.
wasn't until within the last couple years that I actually understood what that commercial was trying to teach you. I just thought it was the cute hippo commercial, and I
Right?
didn't
I think
know.
people started talking about it on like social media again and was like, does anybody remember this? And it's like on Reddit
And
and
we're
you're
like,
like,
yes,
yes.
we all remember it, but what was it about? Other than a hippo
Oh.
that lives in your closet needs peanut butter toast. It's so cute.
Or just saw one on my like Instagram that was like 90s kids will remember this, and it's a lady and then she starts reading this book about the baby raccoon and mama raccoon and what you can and can't eat, and I was like, yeah, I do remember that actually. It was like,
Yeah.
don't do drugs is one of those kind of ones, yeah. Like the don't you put it
Yeah.
out, don't stuff it in your face. It was kind of like that
No, it might look good to eat.
one. Yeah, or it might look good to taste.
Uh,
They stick with you, don't
the
they?
the wildest thing is, if you, I'm sure there's compilations on YouTube, probably, at least,
Oh
of,
yeah.
like, 90s and early 2000s like TV commercials, like YTV and like Disney
Oh,
commercials, because those are some of the
YTV.
wildest things. Like they just don't make commercials like that anymore.
No, YTV was that's the Canadian one, right? I don't think
I
they
think
have it.
so.
Yeah, it would like have all it's like their Disney Channel bullshit and all that, right?
Yeah, but some of the commercials are wild. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
talking sharks trying to sell you yogurt tubes, and you're like, what is even happening right now? Like they wouldn't put that shit on TV anymore. Like,
Oh God.
just isn't the
It's just
same.
like yeah, it's like the early days of the internet. Like there's some wild times when we
Yeah.
get a hold of something new and we're like, ah, let's go crazy with this new platform thing we have.
Yeah, commercials about you can buy this machine that'll help you bedazzle like jeans. It's like, oh shit.
Nice. Oh
Yeah.
God.
You can
Oh,
braid your
that.
hair and put beads in it with this thing, and it's gonna rip the hair out of your head because it's
True. The amount of
$10 from Walmart.
advertising directed at children. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Um, yeah, not a lot of information about trial. I guess Camilla
Mm.
didn't take the stand or anything. Don't know too much about
Okay.
Jeremy, but Camilla was found guilty of conspiracy and first-degree murder and was sentenced in August of 2019 to life in prison without the chance of parole, which is good.
Wow. Okay.
And
That was recent, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
Jeremy pled guilty to second-degree murder. I don't know how it got changed from first to second.
well, it's interesting that she was the one egging him on in the end. I do wonder if that
Yeah.
played a part. I don't know.
Um, Jeremy was sentenced in September of 2019 to 65 to 90 years in prison, which
Wow.
I don't think I had ever heard that before. It's kind of, I feel like a weird, isn't it normally like 25 years to life or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
65
I
to
just thought
90.
65 to 90 years. That's what everything said.
That
I
sounds
thought that
like
was
two
so
life
weird.
sentences or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The Barron County Chief Assistant Prosecutor Steve Parangali said after the jury delivered its verdict that justice was served, but we still lost. And the army lost a good soldier, and Tyrone's father lost a good son.
Mm-hmm. And the
Yeah.
kid lost both his parents.
Right? He wasn't
That's
even two. He wasn't even two.
yeah,
Like,
so much
he'll
for your perfect little
never.
family. You're a family
Yeah.
annihilator almost. Like you got rid of both the parents essentially. I don't know. That's the
Yeah.
worst part about those types of um, spousal murders and whatnot.
Right?
Ugh.
Um, Then Tyrone's mother, LaShonda Jones, she, I guess, in court had words
Okay.
for her daughter in law, Camilla, saying, I want you to spend every day suffering behind bars for the rest of your life. And I hope every time you close your eyes, my son taps you on the shoulders and smiles. Like,
Nice. That's
oh,
creepy.
damn.
That
Like, I wish
painted the
there was a video
picture.
of that because, oh,
Like so like she doesn't want her to get any rest ever again. Yeah.
I wouldn't. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah. So fucked
this
up.
woman. Especially, like, if you remember when I was talking about, like, Tyrone Jr., the father, was talking about how, like, the family really rallied around Camilla while she sat on the couch and was just so distraught she couldn't function or get up from it. And then they find out
Ugh.
she planned the whole thing for months. It's
That
like,
is,
are you.
yeah, that's part of the
Slap in the
worst
face.
betrayal I think most of those families would feel. Yeah, is the way they
Yeah.
just yeah, keep up the ruse. Yeah. It's
Um,
sick. It's very sick.
I will post the video because I think this is just like a testament to what a good person Tyrone Jr. is, the dad, because
Mm.
while in jail, like while Jeremy was in jail. Don't know much about Camilla, but when Jeremy was in jail, Tyrone's father actually, it looked like it might have been over Skype or something, but he ended up having a sit down with Jeremy, and like it got recorded. It was like almost an hour long, this conversation, and it's like posted on YouTube. Tyrone posted it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
In it, right? Like, it's wild. In it, oh, this is where I had it. In it, Jeremy states that he choked and that it had taken him at least 6 times before he was actually able to shoot Tyrone. And Jeremy repeatedly apologized, stating, "I'm truly sorry, and then I know that ain't worth shit."
Sounds like he has more of a conscience than she ever did.
Yeah. During the conversation, Jeremy revealed that he had been planning to divorce his own wife and had fallen in love with Camilla. Yeah, he was married too, I guess.
Ugh. For
Yeah.
shame.
He can get a divorce, but she can't. She don't know what the word
what
means.
the fuck? They weren't even
right?
like,
Isn't
worried
that
about that part? Jesus. Did they have kids? I hope not.
I don't think so. He had fallen in love with Camilla while the 3 of them had been stationed in South Korea. That's where they were stationed.
Whoa. That's wild.
Yeah. So I think they had met there because when it said, like, what, they were stationed in Colorado or some shit? Like, so they must have gotten all 3 of them reassigned again after they met the first time. So, like, it had been going on for a while. Yeah, he stated that he had even become attached to the couple's baby nicknamed Chunk. Yeah. So, in the interview, like...
Tyrone would have known him then.
Yeah, like Tyrone did. It didn't ever really talk about, like, how well. But, yeah, if they had been stationed together at least twice, they definitely, like, knew.
Okay. Because he kind of called it a love triangle, but alright. That's... Yeah. They fucked it all up.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
He stated, or Jeremy stated that I already said that. He had been attached to the couple's child. He said, quote, "I had issues already."
You don't say.
Sorry. I was all over the place. For some reason, I thought Camilla was my life. He said that he was manipulated by her to kill Tyrone, and was stunned to hear from Tyrone's father, actually, like, I guess during this conversation, that Camilla had actually told investigators that Jeremy didn't care about her and her son. So she was trying to, like, pin it all on Jeremy when she was getting interviewed, be like, "Oh, I didn't manipulate him." Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Time to turn on him because we got caught.
Yeah.
Bust him throne.
Jeremy said, "My mind was twisted and I thought I had to do that in order for me to have a family with her because I wanted kids." Yeah, so he must not have had any kids from his marriage. I never heard anything about what his wife thought of this whole thing going down. Fuck. She'd be like, "Divorce signed, sealed, delivered."
Yeah. That's a deal breaker, ladies. That's from what is it, 30 Rock. She ends up what's his face? His wife, Angie. She has all the lines, all the catchphrases.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess Tyrone Jr., the father, told Jeremy that he appreciated his remorse. He even stated on the record, "You seem like a good guy." However, I guess at some point he had also sarcastically warned Jeremy that he would meet a lot of friends in jail. I mean...
I heard heard someone say the other day, yeah, you get all the regular meals, free sex that you want. No.
Just don't drop the soap.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dad also said that the Michigan Department of Corrections is tough, and he always said he wouldn't wish it on his worst enemy. So I think that was kind of, he at least appreciated that, like, Jeremy seemed to be remorseful. Tyrone also wondered how Jeremy and Camilla believed that they could go on after murdering his son, saying, quote, after all that, you thought you could have just lived happily ever after? Like, what? Which exactly, like, what do you think was gonna happen? Like,
what's the plan here, guys? What's the end goal? Yeah.
Yeah. Updates for the case. I guess in 2020, Jeremy attempted to withdraw his guilty plea that he had initially made and tried to appeal his sentence, but this was, like, denied. At the news of Jeremy's attempts, Tyrone Jr. reacted with disbelief, saying Jeremy entering the guilty plea the first time made me feel like he wanted to clear his conscience, but withdrawing it was like a slap in the face, and it makes you wonder what this guy is thinking.
Yeah. Seriously, though. Like, I thought he kind of felt bad, like, and now he's just like,
yeah,
it's like, no, son, you did it. We know.
Yeah.
God.
Camilla, only really update I have about her is that she also petitioned for a new trial, claiming she was the victim of battered woman syndrome.
Oh, fuck all the way off.
I know. Her late husband's father, Tyrone, denies that his son was abusive and, like, didn't find any evidence for that. And, like, if you
no one
listen
else
to
had
that,
ever said it ever. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, like, if you listen to the father speak in interviews, like, he is crying, and I don't know, you can tell he's so well spoken and, like, so thoughtful, even when he's talking about, like, Jeremy's part in everything, that I can't believe that, like, that man would have a son that would be abusive. If you, like, I know that's not how it happens, but, like, that man would have raised a son that would do that. Like,
yeah. He obviously set a really good example and was just like,
he seems phenomenal in, like, the interviews I saw of him. Like,
cool.
Yeah.
Did they have other kids?
I didn't watch. I didn't see anything about that. I was really hoping at least that, like, Tyrone's son would get to stay with, like, Tyrone Jr., the grandfather, like, but it seems like the couple's son now lives with Camilla's mother, and Tyrone Jr. sees him via FaceTime, and I don't know how often. That kind of made me sad, because I was like, oh, I wish that guy got to, like, raise his son's son, because
it doesn't usually go with the convicted person's grandparents or whatever, like their mother.
I don't know.
What the heck?
Yeah,
well,
I don't know what the
maybe
situation
they have a good
is.
relationship and they like do some, I don't know, I want to say sharing.
Like, yeah,
but
it said that he only sees his grandchild over FaceTime. Which I thought was really sad. Yeah, so he basically lost his son and his grandson. Like,
when you're a parent, you're like, even if you're young, you're like, fuck, I should probably make a will, because if something happens to both of us, I want to make sure my kid doesn't end up like with, like, Pat doesn't even talk to his parents. Like, what if somehow they were like, no, we want the kid, or, you know what I mean? Like, and then they end up living with grandparents they'd never known or something. Like, that's not right.
And the kid was only 2, so, like, he doesn't remember his father, he doesn't remember the mom. He's only ever gonna know, like, what people tell him or what he reads on the internet about them. So
I wonder what the relationship was with the,
I have no
her
idea.
parents.
I never saw anything that talked about it. Her side of the family, nothing. It just talked about, like, their side of the family welcoming her into their family. but nothing about her family.
Damn.
Yeah, he just said that about the son, that he would like him to know that his father was a good man and that his father loved him very dearly. And that Tyrone Hassell III was our hometown hero, so I'd like people to remember him that way. Yeah, so like I said, that video of him and Jeremy, I guess, is on YouTube. I have a link for it. I think I like kind of skipped around in it a little bit, but I mean, it's like an hour long. And then the case has also been featured on, I guess, A&E's Killer Cases in 2021. And then there was an interview I watched, part of it, I didn't watch the whole episode, of an episode of 2020 that he did, and that's the one I saw the interview and I realized like how well spoken the father was and like everything like that about the case. So, yeah, but that's the case. I wish there had been like more information or anything about it.
I'm looking at the photos of him with his dad now. I wouldn't have been able to tell you which one was the dad and the son, just like that Amazing Race freaking dad-son duo. I was like, is it me with the can't tell black people's ages? Because his dad he dresses young. He's got like dreadlocks and he's wearing jeans, and the son's like all in the army uniform. So I was like, whoa.
Yeah, like I think he probably had him pretty young, but
oh yeah, I would say his dad probably just in his 40s there. I don't know.
Yeah, like if that.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I want to hate her. She looks nice, but
I know, right?
Sucks.
Like,
yeah. Oh, and this is the other guy.
Yeah, ugh. Like I don't know.
Not even cuter than your husband, girl. What the fuck?
Right? I know. And he's already married. Like, did she know he was already married? Come on.
That's probably part of the thrill. Who knows? They're both married. Whatever. Like, get over yourselves. It's not worth... Nothing's worth ending someone else's life. I just could never put myself there. I don't know. You gotta be some sort of sociopathic. And she did not seem to care one bit afterwards.
No, like, I had looked at multiple sources that were kind of talking about stuff, and it wasn't until I read one that was talking about stuff from, like, police reports and, like, the court documents revealed in the conversations, and I was like, holy shit, like, she was like basically berating Jeremy for how many times he backed out of their plans and wasn't able to follow through. And then even Jeremy saying, oh yeah, I shot him like twice, and then he collapsed to the ground, and then he's like, I waited a second, realized he was still breathing, so I walked over and shot him in the forehead to make sure he was dead, and then I walked away. And I was like, Jesus, like, it's savage.
Like, yeah, and just think if he had had a little bit of bigger balls to stand up to his fucking mistress, then he probably would have been like, you know what? No, I don't think this is right. And just like, you want to do it, you do it yourself. Like, then we wouldn't be here.
Right?
Fucking
and it's weird too, because I mean, it's the military, so the military isn't going to investigate a random senseless shooting of one of their soldiers. Like, that doesn't, like, would they not investigate that? Like,
and was this on base?
No, but I mean,
okay,
it's a wife of an active duty soldier, and then you have an active duty soldier. Like, it just, I don't know.
You would think they were smart people, but they just acted so dumb. Like,
yeah, like all of it's dumb. All of it is dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that
you're welcome. I don't know.
Yeah. Hope that kid's doing better. It reminds me, on a lighter note, of George Foreman, and I think he has like 4 sons named George Foreman. Wait, I could be wrong, but there's definitely a bunch of George Foremans. That guy that makes the grill, you know, that Michael Scott likes to grill his morning bacon on and his feet.
We had a Foreman grill. I have no idea where it is. I doubt my mom still has it.
I think I need a panini press. I want some fancy melted sandwiches.
That's what we used ours for most of the time.
Right?
Delicious.
One time at a corner store near Pat's old apartment in Fredericton, they had the one that made a tomato brie melted sandwich. And I've been thinking about that like ever since. I just need to try and make it on my own. Girl, that was like 20 years ago. Jesus.
Even just ham and cheese, like paninis. Oh,
true. Yeah, Pat will throw that in like a grilled cheese situation. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, delicious.
I think my obituary will say she had her nose in a book and she loved fucking sandwiches.
Mine, I had a ham and cheese sandwich for breakfast. Because I thought
I love when you get a Subway. You used to get a Subway sandwich and have some for breakfast and some for lunch.
Yeah. I had a ham and cheese sandwich for breakfast because I thought it was going to be like running out the door to go grocery shopping almost right away, and then I lost all my motivation right after I ate.
She lost all will to live. No. Yeah.
Yeah. And then later in the day I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, so I had 2 sandwiches.
Nice.
That's like 50% of what I ate today was sandwiches, 2 different kinds.
Oh yeah, I've been on the sandwich kick. Pat went grocery shopping, and so we got those big Portuguese fluffy buns. Ooh, they're so good.
Nice.
And I rediscovered I liked Miracle Whip. I think I told you. Maybe not.
Oh, I don't like Miracle Whip.
I guess I do, but I didn't remember that because Pat doesn't like it, so we don't keep it in the house. And then like somebody brought in that turkey for like turkey sandwiches around our Canadian Thanksgiving, whatever many weeks ago that was now. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, this is really good.
Yeah.
So silly. Anyway, we like sandwiches. We'll get if we look at that buy me a coffee. I've always thought about setting up that website where people can just donate if they don't want it, because a lot of times people don't want to like join Patreon.
Yeah.
So they just want to send you money. It's like, buy us a sandwich. That's what we'll set it up as.
Yes.
I mean, Kelsey,
when I go to a restaurant, when I go to a restaurant, I almost always get the burger. Like, I love a burger.
You do love a good burger.
It's my go-to at any restaurant ever, because rarely do you get disappointed by a burger and fries.
Yeah, and you don't always want to branch out because you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, and some things can like really upset my stomach and everything. So burgers, at least restaurant wise, are almost always safe. Fast food, no. Like, normally can't do burgers anywhere, but restaurants, so good.
Where they use real meat, yeah.
Yeah. And stuff is like more homemade. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ooh. Welcome to the Bell Witch Podcast, a show that covers the infamous legend of the historic Bell Witch haunting in southern United States in the 19th century, where the Bell family experienced frightening happenings within their home. Hang on a second. No, that's the wrong Bell Witch. This is a podcast about being a witchy pagan in the 21st century, airing bi-weekly, with different guests on each month sharing their pearls of wisdom and gems of knowledge from their very own witchy businesses. I call it a moot loot. Here we cover a wide range of pagan and witchcraft related topics, from sigils, spells and spirits to Reiki rituals and pagan parenting while camping in the Bell tent named Delilah. It's got nothing to do with the Bell Witch from the 19th century in Tennessee that scared people to death in a little townhouse, which may or may not be true. Pretty cool story, but yeah, it's the wrong Bell Witch. This Bell Witch podcast is brought to you by Swales, the friendly green witch from Leeds, UK. A northern witch with a strong Yorkshire accent, a love of all things weird, spooky, magical, and a smelly dragon named Dave. So tune in every 2 weeks for a sprinkling of Yorkshire magic. Listen to the Bell Witch podcast with me, Swales, the friendly green witch, wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. Well, we are back from hopefully pretty brief break for you, but a little bit of a longer one for us to record the rest of this episode. Which we kind of did that a little bit for the last one too. So sue us. So what? So
Right?
buttons.
It's the holidays.
Oh,
It's a hectic
gosh.
time of year.
Yeah, it's the most. Yes. Especially if you work in retail, as we were sort of semi just discussing.
Yeah.
But yeah, life gets to you. I was just still like, I can have days off and still be like, why don't I have any laundry done? It's just the way it is. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Because I had to finish these crazy notes, and they were rough at times to write.
Oh, damn. Oh, no. I'm scared. I don't like this.
Yeah. It brought to mind words someone else said on a podcast when they're like, I don't know if I'm at the right part of my cycle for this today, or something like that. It was just like, period's coming. I'm going to definitely cry way more easier, is how it works with me.
I never get mood shifts. I never have.
No.
No.
Well, lucky for you. No.
I know, right?
I feel like I get terrible PMS or periods, which is like very lucky actually. So I can kind of semi-relate, but that seems pretty cool.
Yeah, like at least from like mood changes or anything.
Yeah.
Don't ever get that, but I like with my back and everything get really bad back pain,
Yes.
and then yeah,
the day
so that
of. Yeah.
yeah, like the first couple days, I'm normally taking Tylenol and stuff to get through the day, hoping I'm not working that day, and
oh yeah, weed works
yeah.
well also if that's your thing.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Oh, hot baths, yeah, whatever you can do. Yeah, back pain, and yeah, I don't know. I definitely get testy the first couple days too, and a little teary sometimes. So, yeah. I've
Oh
I watched a couple movies too that made me tear up this weekend. But if anyone gets a chance to watch the one called My Old Ass with Aubrey Plaza, where she meets her younger self, it was really good.
no.
Yeah.
I have heard really good things about it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, she's like, you can't be me. You're 40. She's like, slow down, bitch. And yeah, just really cute scenes.
It sounds funny.
But you have a gap in your teeth. I know. Wear your retainer, bitch. Yeah, Aubrey Plaza's so good.
Yeah, that's me. If I don't wear my night guard, I do slowly get a gap between my two front teeth.
No way. Oh yeah,
and it is noticeable.
If you've had some removed, they can start to move because that's what happened with Pat's. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had any of my teeth removed, but they, when I had my braces put on, they thought they might have to remove them just because how
the spacing
big like a lot of my teeth are at the front, especially at the top.
Okay.
But luckily they didn't end up having to remove any, but they did like file some of them down.
Dang.
They have like, yeah, it was like a flexible, almost like emery board, like a nail file. It was wild, and they basically just flossed my teeth with it, and like carved off like a millimeter or two off of each side of all of my teeth, and then they all fit in, and everything was good.
Like
But I did
Hermione
get a
had to
slight.
magically do with her teeth because she had a little bit of a buck tooth
Yeah.
in Harry Potter. That's crazy.
Yeah, so because of them doing that, I guess at the top after my wisdom teeth got taken out, now I get like a little gap. It's not very big,
Oh.
like maybe 2 or 3 millimeters
Yeah.
it'll get. Yeah, so I have to be really good about wearing. I have like a hard plastic retainer, like a mouth guard kind of thing I have to put in.
Oh.
It. Yeah,
I
it keeps
did
it all together.
I did get given a night guard. He said, like the dentist kept saying, "Oh, with grinding of the teeth, it's hard to tell if it's old or new, but like you might be grinding in your sleep." And I was like, "Yeah, I feel like maybe I woke up clenching or whatever." You can't also really be like, or you don't want to tell your dentist that it might just be from when you used to rave back in the day and you probably ground your teeth a few times, right? Like, so they give you a night
Yeah.
guard, and I'm like, I never remember to put that fucking thing in. Like, I barely remember to take my eye makeup off. I'm bad, okay? Like, but I don't know. I haven't really noticed much of a problem. I'm just gonna have to try and remember to add it to my routine in case I am still kind of clenching, but
I know I am
hard.
even with that in, because one of
Really?
my teeth at the bottom is cracked.
Okay.
Yeah, you can like see it if you look really closely, but the dentist said it's fine. Like, and for some
Yeah.
reason, it's not deep enough that I have even like sensitivity to hot and cold from it, but you can see it, like, and it's all the way down to like from the tip of my tooth down to the gums. Like, you can see the crack all
Is
the
it
way
in the
through,
front
which is,
or sort of?
yeah, it's like
Oh.
on my front little ones. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So,
I've had a little bit of chipping off
yeah.
my back molar, but that was the only thing I've ever been like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I do grind. Rise and grind. You know what they say. No.
Right?
Or sleep and grind.
Grit your teeth and power through, and you're like, no, don't grit your teeth.
Yeah,
Don't
my
do
mom.
it.
I believe my aunt used to do it too. My mom said her sister used to grind her teeth and she'd hear it at night or whatever.
Oh shoot. I think
I don't
most people
remember you
do.
telling me about the filing down, because I'm sure I talked about a spy lady who like filed her teeth down to look like an old woman. Might have been Virginia
Yeah.
Hall, speaking of my mother. The
They
limping
also
lady.
used their like grinders and stuff because of how my teeth were sitting before I had my braces done.
Mm-hmm.
The top little jagged part on your front and like the front parts of your teeth
Yeah.
are supposed to eventually wear away, and because how mine were sitting in my mouth, they never did.
Really?
So when
Is that why some people's teeth look kind of pointy? Ah, I just had a
yeah,
new
like mine
theory
had like
unlocked.
it was kind of like all these little ridges across it.
Okay.
So they filed all that down too, so that they'd
Damn.
be more flat looking. Yeah.
That's cool. They do, like, because your teeth do look very like even.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, they look a
just
lot
assuming
better
you
now.
had braces or whatever. I don't know.
But them using a nail file inside your mouth with your
Oh
teeth, and then it is not a fun sound.
no, that
It's like them
sensation.
using a drill. It just is. Oh,
I just don't even like the things they use to scrape to clean your teeth. You know, like I go for my cleanings, but I'm like that sensation. It makes I end up like holding my hands together and really clenching my fist.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, same.
Yeah, and then I do have a bit of sensitive teeth and gum recession. So yay, isn't it fun to be getting older?
I know.
Oh, I'm approaching 40. Great.
One of the gums on one of my teeth receded at the beginning of this year, and it was really hot and cold sensitive for like 7 or 8 months, and I couldn't even if I touched that part of my tooth, I would get like a shooting pain.
No.
And it finally went away. It finally got like less sensitive and
oh my
is doing
gosh.
a lot better now. But it was Yeah, it was
Yeah.
wild. Even brushing my teeth, if the bristles went over it, it felt like I was like flinching and everything. It was
Oh,
crazy.
wow. Yeah, that sounds bad.
Yeah, it
Like
was really
almost like
bad.
an exposed nerve or something, right? Like,
Yeah,
sounds
that's what
really
they
rough.
told me is they said it could feel that bad, but that like the nerve wasn't exposed or anything, but they were like, yeah, I
Hmm.
guess it's just more sensitive than
Mhm.
it typically is. And I was like, thank God it finally went away. So it was
Oh,
brutal. They're like, it might not ever go away. And I was like, well, don't tell me that.
Jesus.
I
No,
don't
because
want to
if they
live for the
scraped
next
too
50
wrong,
years with
oh yeah.
this fucking tooth like this.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
tell me
yeah.
that.
They like go for my gums doing the cleaning. I'm like, no, no.
Yeah, stay
Yeah, it's
away.
rough. Yeah. Oh, pardon me. Well, Gordo has just settled in. We were
Yeah.
boring him. No.
He had left the room and everything, and now he's back.
Did I mention that my dog was in here humping pillows and then I had to kick him out because he followed me right upstairs? It was very Gordo-esque. He was right up in my business.
Yeah, I swear he can. I think it's when I open the drawer in here to take out the mic and my headphones that he is like, oh, it's
Yeah.
recording time. Like,
Pavlovian
not just,
response.
yeah, she's in this room. It's, oh, she's going to be recording. Let's distract her.
Like when Pat's playing Xbox and then the dog hears him turn it off. Doodaloo! That's his sign. It's walkie time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I better not say that too loud. That was hours earlier today. So now it's story time.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, I was saying to Kelsey that it was a rough one to write. And
Yeah.
fun thing Ressa pointed out to me. My sister was like, "Did you guys mean for the military like murders to come out on the week of Remembrance Day?" And I was like, "No." We did not. Much as I like a themed episode, it just happened to shuffle out that way.
Yeah.
Like, we just picked it. But, yeah. So I guess
It was
we'll have
just going to
to
be
go
in this
out.
month, but I think it was supposed to be like
Yeah.
almost the first, I think. Like this episode is coming out almost like a week or two late, I think,
I think we did want
from
Ghost to
when
be
we
the
like
Halloween-y one.
originally
Yeah.
planned. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it did get pushed closer to Remembrance Day.
But yeah, when we had to fit a bonus episode in as recording, we like ended up being like, nope, now we're behind. You're a regular episode now. Yeah. So, all right. Hope everyone enjoyed that and the ghost story one, which also took me a while to get all that of it out and edited because we recorded that in 2 parts when with me talking about the haunted
Yeah.
school/museum now, which has an upcoming Christmas Carol night at the end of November
Christmas
here.
Carol.
Yeah, like hot chocolate and Christmas carols.
Oh. I was like, what?
Because it's just a museum now, and it's not known for being haunted, so it just has like events, and they have like an upcoming like Christmas event. Because I think I was trying to look up to
Cute.
see if it's just like free to get into. Because it'd be fun to go just like check it out. Be like,
Yeah.
ooh, are those the blinds that got nailed down or whatever? Because they were trying to prevent the poltergeist or whoever it was, Peter, from flicking everything up, and then they come down the next morning and all the blinds are up anyway, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He just sounded kind of annoying.
Yeah, it didn't sound that bad.
And also we were like, why would you come back and haunt high school? That's just crazy.
Yeah. Right?
Anywho. Now that that all is out of the way, we are going to tell you the story of, we can't just call it the Fort Hood shootings because there's been several instances that that's happened.
Oh, damn. Oh,
Isn't
no.
that sad? So sadly, we have to refer to this one as like specifically the ones that happened in 2009, and the perpetrator or the guy we're going to be talking about is named Nidal Malik Hassan, and so it's his on
Oh,
Fort
okay.
Hood. I guess we'll call it. Great. All of the
Right?
trigger warnings, mass
Damn.
multiple murders, and stuff. So let's get into it. Be a little different than yours, but just as sad, I'm sure. Right?
Yeah.
So this guy, who I mostly referred to by his last name, Hassan. Sometimes if they have shorter first names and last names, I'll just pick the shorter one, but they both were pretty short, so it was just,
Yeah, fair enough.
these are easy to spell at least. Yay. No. Only good thing about this case. But yeah, Nidal Hassan was born on the 8th of September in 1970 in Arlington County, Virginia. His parents were Palestinian born, naturalized American citizens, so they had moved there, I assume, before he was born or at some point. At some point, obviously. But they're there now. Oh my God. He went to Wakefield High School in Arlington before they moved to Roanoke. Ever heard of it?
Oh no. After it disappeared? Oh no.
The Lost Colony, Roanoke. Oh, yes, they went there in 1986, so way after. But I would also like to cover
Yeah.
that, I think, sometime. I don't want to say it's debunked, but I've heard, like, just the theories of the colony was lost because they did say they would, if they were left behind and they couldn't get any help, they might hang out with the tribes that were around there, like the Croatoans,
Yeah.
like that word they left on the tree, you know?
Yeah, they would have. I mean, yeah, it's one thing to stay put and wait for help, but I mean,
Yeah.
that can't always definitively be the answer. Sometimes you do
Especially,
have to pack up and leave an area.
yeah, the help took like 2 years to come. They were supposed to come back with provisions
Yeah.
like way earlier.
Yeah.
Anyway, so while I hate to say anything's debunked, I think that one might have more of an explanation that people just don't always like to point to. But
Yeah, it's not as fun and mysterious.
no, fun place names though, and like Roanoke and Croatoan, and then there was a place near there in. They talked about an Outlander that was called Ocracoke, and I was like, these names are so fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, indigenous names. Hard to say, but also awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's, yes, they're in Virginia, then Roanoke, 1986, where his father had moved there the year prior in order to set up some business enterprises, including actually a market, a restaurant, and an olive bar, whatever that may be.
Damn. He's setting up 3 businesses at once?
It said, I don't know, he was a go-getter.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, work ethic in this family. Oh boy.
Yeah, we're sitting here complaining about having one full-time job each and then a podcast, and this dude's starting 3
mean,
businesses from scratch.
he's ambitious, yes. And, you know, sometimes being ambitious with no other goals is not a good thing. Not for him. Whatever, we were just watching a documentary of Vince McMahon. It's not important. From the WWE. Anyway. Okay, yes, this guy's go-getter like his daddy, much like Vince McMahon. But he joined the military in 1988, so that would make him only 18. He's like straight out of school.
Jeez.
He also was still going to college at this same time. So he's in the military, he's going to college, he's getting an associate degree in science at Virginia Western Community College. And that happened in 1992. He's no dummy. It said in 1995, he graduated from Virginia Tech with a bachelor's degree in biochemistry. And
Nice.
yeah, he completed both of these programs with Latin honors. I guess that's good. He was commissioned
Latin
as
honors.
Latin honors,
What is-
yeah.
Is he taking Latin? Is that what that means? What does that mean?
I didn't click on the highlighted Wikipedia link. I don't know.
Oh no.
You have no idea how long the Wikipedia. That was mostly my sources for this, to be honest. It's just so long and like thorough. I don't know. And there wasn't. Yeah, a lot of times you have other options, but I was like, a lot of these other ones are just like university sites and weird stuff that I'm not sure about. It was odd.
Oh.
Yeah. So he was commissioned as an officer in the Army Medical Department in 1997 and enrolled at the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences, or the, get this, USUHS in Bethesda, Maryland.
That's too many U's.
The
And
USUHS.
Usush.
I know. I'm like, UHS.
Some things shouldn't be like what is that, like abbreviated or acronym?
An acronym.
Some things you shouldn't. Yeah.
It's such an awkward one. Like when I told you at work, they call our vehicle registration one VRAR.
Yeah.
You couldn't make those
VRAR
better together, like the USUHS or the USUHS. Oh, and then I don't even think I said the place name right. In Bethesda, Maryland. I think I said Bethesda or something. I don't know. Oh my god. Okay. So, he was smart. He did all these things. He was also on academic probation most of the time while he was there, and it took him 6 years to complete the 4-year program. So he was, I don't know, a little slower maybe at it.
Oh, okay.
In 2003, he was a medical intern and resident of psychiatry at the Walter Reed Army Medical Center. Another little acronym for you. The RAMS.
No.
Stop. They didn't put it as an acronym. I just did that myself.
Oh. Okay, good. I was like, enough. No more bad acronyms.
It's from what is it called? From Disney. Phineas and Ferb. They have ALCA, the organization without a cool acronym.
Yeah.
Very tongue-in-cheek. So, yes, he completes his psychiatry training there with a 2-year fellowship in, get this, disaster and preventative psychiatry? I mean, I don't know what that is.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Like natural disaster? And then, but what is preventative? How do you emotionally prepare people to like live through earthquakes? Like, what are you talking about?
Listen, the only reason I thought it was interesting because it just seems so ironic given what he does.
Yeah.
That he has a degree
I was gonna say.
Like, anything to do with disaster or / preventative.
Yeah.
But that earned him a master's degree in public health.
Ugh.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, you can see where this is going. But yeah, it's so weird because he's like smart, so you're like, okay. But anyway, not to front load it too much. Yeah, we'll just get back to it. During his training there at the Walter Reed Army Medical Center, he received counseling and extra supervision. So
Oh.
I think he was a bit of maybe some problems as a student. I don't know exactly what they were. He was described as being socially isolated and making the occasional anti-American remark, however.
Oh, damn.
It's not going great. And he seemed to become increasingly stressed and upset by his work with soldiers returning from warfare and their stories.
Oh. Well,
Might not be the job for him. I don't know.
yeah.
He's supposed to be counseling them and he's getting upset. Like, this is, I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully he has like his own therapist and that kind of stuff. I think a lot of therapists have their own therapists
Right.
and
You
people
have
that
to.
they talk to. Yeah.
On 30 Rock, there's a plot where Liz Lemon starts unloading everything onto what's the page's name? Kenneth. And he just sits there with a smile and she just like, this is great, I can say anything and it's just get it all off my chest. And then he's like, yeah, and then she would like leave and he would do something really stressed, like eat a pencil. And they're like, I don't know. And then
Oh,
like,
damn.
oh, what's his face? Alec Baldwin there, Jack, he's just like, you can't do that. Look at him. His skull shows he can't handle that kind of, like, I don't know, he makes some stupid joke to phrenology or whatever. Like, he can't handle that kind of emotional distress. You're breaking him.
Oh, damn.
He probably starts like braying like a donkey. I don't know. Kenneth is really weird. Okay, I'll go back to the horrible story. Hassan did receive some accolades and awards for his service, military awards, including in 1988 the Army Service Ribbon after completing advanced individual training. And he got the National Defense Service Medal twice, once during the Persian Gulf War and the, quote, Global War on Terror.
Oh.
War on
Gonna
Terror.
say, of course he won an individual medal, not a like teamwork medal.
Yeah, advanced individual training, whatever that is. And he got the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal for support service during said War on Terror, which we won't even get into how that's such a sticky subject for a quote-unquote war.
Yeah.
But obviously there's, undertones of that and whatever. He lost his parents kind of early. His father in 1988, he was only 51, and his mother passed 3 years later, so he took that pretty hard.
Yeah.
It would be. That's obviously very young.
Yeah.
He was only 28 when his dad passed. Leaned on his faith. He was a devout Muslim. Started attending like different mosques. One in Silver Spring, Maryland, where I guess it's called like an imam. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Like the person that heads the mosque, like, the priest or whatever we'd call it with Christianity. Yeah. Excuse me. The imam of that mosque said he was a reserved guy with a nice personality and got the impression that he was a committed soldier and that he was very much looking forward to like getting married and finding a wife. Yeah. But so on the 31st of July 2009, we know he headed into a little shop called Guns Galore, which is a great name.
Oh my god. I mean, the sign says it all.
How American can you get? We have nothing like that in Canada. Like, we're very similar to America in a lot of ways, but,
Yeah.
X out half the Starbucks, replace them with Tim Hortons, and also we don't have gun stores on every corner. Anyway.
Like, if somebody right now asked me to try and buy a gun to save my life, other than Googling where do I buy a gun in
Right?
this province, I don't know where to start. Like,
Exactly. And yeah, we're fine with that. You shouldn't need
yeah,
to obtain the like most killing of guns. Because if you're
yeah.
hunting, you don't need a fucking like assault rifle or whatever.
I hope not. Otherwise, your aim is for shit.
Yeah, not if
Like,
you're hunting animals in the wild.
yeah, that you're planning on eating. You don't need.
Whereas this guy inquires about obtaining the most technologically advanced weapon on the market and the one with the highest standard magazine capacity. Quote unquote.
Oh, that should have been a red flag.
What can get me the most dead people in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of reloading?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And he was even asked why he wanted it. I mean, I think that's a reasonable thing for a person selling you something to ask.
Yeah.
But he just like hedged around the question and kind of repeated his request. So it didn't say. Whereupon
But
there
like
was an
even then, if
yeah.
somebody is like looking for that kind of weapon and they are like in the military, so you're expecting them to have some sort of weapons training and that kind of stuff, you're probably not
Mhm.
going to question them as much as like a regular citizen that's was inquiring about that type of weapon. So it would probably have like a certain thing if he mentioned he was in the military even when they asked him why he wanted it.
I could see
But
that, yeah, as being like a reason. He's just like, oh yeah, I'm like, I already know guns and whatever.
yeah.
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 Of course, it's not illegal for people to like go to a gun range or own a gun, especially in America.
Yeah.
But it was interesting how there was not just the shop owner, but a regular customer there who was an army specialist, who by the name of William Gilbert. He was just a regular customer who was overhearing the question, and he wanted to give his opinion about whatever the
Oh,
gun he
okay.
owned and liked. And yeah, it's just a weird detail that like he remembered it. But anyway, Hassan bought what was called an FN 57 semi-automatic pistol, followed by trips to pick up extra magazines and ammo, apparently over 3,000 rounds worth of ammo.
Which is an insane amount.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
I bought 1,000 yesterday and I'm all out.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that's excessive unless you're, I don't know, standing in the
Yeah.
desert and you just hold the trigger down for, I don't know, 10 minutes and then you're like, oh, all out. Like,
Right? Like, hard to
doing?
say. How do people
Why you
stock
need
up or
3,000?
Mhm.
Wild.
Now, he was practicing, so I don't know if that somewhat was to be used at these different shooting ranges in a nearby place called Florence, but not the Italy one. Just to be clear. But yeah, he got good enough to hit 100-yard targets with ease and accuracy, so he was doing great.
Yeah, I love that.
Love that for you. He was due to be deployed in November, as we are now.
Oh no.
Supposed to be at the end on the 28th of that year. So, yeah, as the date approached, his demeanor at work was a little strained. He was a little stressed about the deployment. Apparently, on November 3rd, he gave away a bunch of belongings like his furniture to one of his neighbors and gave the reason that he was being deployed soon. So I guess I don't need it. I don't know.
Okay, because I was gonna say that's normally a red flag that somebody is planning to
Yeah.
die.
Right?
But
Like, yeah, you can't exactly point to the fact that, like, oh, he had nothing in his calendar after this date because he was supposed to be deployed. But
yeah.
this is weird.
So that's
Yeah.
still a yeah, like if his demeanor and everything at work is changing, and it sounds like he had already been deployed before to different areas, so it's not like it's his first deployment.
I don't think
Right?
so, but I'm not too sure. I just know that said he was upset at hearing about other people's deployments as like
Huh.
specifically. Yeah, it's hard. I can't.
Because it sounded like when he got those medals or those honors or whatever that he had already been like sent somewhere, right?
That's true, because one was the global war on terror, so it's hard to say where that would have been. But the other was something
Yeah.
in the, I think, the Persian.
Yeah.
The Persian Gulf War. You're right. So that probably was off. Yeah, off base. So next thing we know, it's 2 days later after he gave away some of his belongings, so it's on November 5th at approximately 1:35 p.m. or 1335 hours. Hassan entered the Soldier Readiness Processing Center. There's another acronym for you.
Soldier readiness.
The SRPC. I don't know. But this place was used for medical treatment for people pre and post deployment. So presumably he's a little familiar with it.
Okay.
Yeah. And when he got there, he had both the FN 57 pistol, now fitted with 2 Laser Max laser sights, one red, one green,
Holy
and
shit.
a Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum on him. But they
And he could just walk on the base with
Well,
like
that's
a
what I was
gun
just
that's
gonna
not
say.
authorized?
He must have had them concealed to some point, because no, you're supposed to lock up your weapons, as will be
Okay.
evidenced by the way that nobody has a weapon to fight him back with.
Shit.
Pat said there's like, you like lock it up in like the armory or something when you're on base, because you're just not allowed to just walk around with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I thought that was
Damn.
interesting. I'd never really thought about that before. Like, I don't know. I guess if you're a cop on duty, you'll have your gun. But if you're just like back at the office at the station, like you're not gonna necessarily. I don't know. I guess it's a little different
I
with
think they
soldiers.
almost always have their guns. Like,
Yeah. But again, yeah, I guess it's a bit different with the soldiers, because they're not supposed to be facing any danger on the base. Like, they're
yeah.
not. Yeah,
Damn.
that's what makes this
I
one.
mean, the higher up, like,
Yeah.
senior people there, they should still be allowed to keep their weapons.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely in the aftermath of this one, I wonder if it would have made a difference, but
Shit.
hard to say. It's interesting and sad and tragic, of course, but to like, when I look at this one, because there will be multiple people murdered, if you hadn't kind of figured out that's where this was going, that it's like different than one from a school shooting where people are completely defenseless, but they're still quite defenseless. They don't have their weapons on them.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because when I just said, oh yeah, why don't these people have guns? And then immediately in my head it went, oh, that's the argument that people have, that arm all the teachers.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, they can be part of the problem as well as they can be part of the solution, I'm sure. That we can't argue
but
that.
at least if you're arming the supervisors and like senior people in a military base, those people are somewhat trained more than whatever training you would ever be able to provide a school teacher. Yeah.
Well, it's like the way they say don't just go and get a gun because you're terrified, because if you don't know how to use it, it's just going to be used against you. Like,
Yeah, it's more dangerous for you to have a gun in your house and not know how to use it and not have it safely stored than it is for you to not have a gun. Like, because there's so many accidental shootings, especially, it always breaks my heart when it's kids.
I know.
And stuff, yeah.
Like, literally where, you hear it with adults in a true crime case. You're like, sure, the gun just went off, but no. You're like, with kids, yeah, they can be just
Yeah, or
not
they
know
think
any
it's
better.
a toy
Yeah.
and
Yeah, they don't have the gun
stuff.
safety.
They don't have the like knowledge to know that that's like an actual weapon and not just a toy, and there's consequences for pulling the trigger. Like,
Right. Oh,
yeah.
very, very
Okay.
sad.
Continue, I guess.
All right, buckle up. So he went up to the, November 5th, remember the 5th of November. He went up to the desk near the north doors at the Soldier Processing Center or whatever, and asked to please see Major Parrish, who was his deployment guy, his liaison, his go-to for deployment
Okay.
questions and shit. Not sure if he wanted to target him specifically, because he just basically waits until the worker at the desk left to get Major Parrish, and then he kind of springs into action, if you will.
So maybe he's just trying to clear the people away from the phone or something.
Yeah, something. Because he goes behind the desk, bows his head, stands up straight, and shouts the phrase Allahu Akbar, and opened fire. I'm trying to remember how it's pronounced from hearing it on the prison show Oz, which I mentioned recently.
Yeah.
I just remember everybody doing their praying, Allahu Akbar. But it is a religious phrase that most will probably recognize is from Islam. It, I guess it has a name officially. I read that it was called the takbir. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm so sorry. But the point is that it's an Arabic phrase meaning Allah is greater than everything. The literal translation would be magnification of God. So, like,
Oh.
I guess similar to having to say, like, God is good or whatever, praise be to God, that kind of thing. It is used in a lot of different situations, which is kind of interesting. Like, it's used in formal prayer or Salah, I think it's called, and in the Adnan or the Islamic call to prayer, and Hajj as in an informal expression of faith and in times of distress or joy. So I think, yeah, like it would be like an oh my God, you know what I mean? Like there's different phrases we have that are like religious sounding, but also can be used as like swearing if it's French Canadian,
Yeah.
Sacre bleu, like fucking. What's the other one they say? Tabernacle, which just means like tabernacle, basically like church. Anyway.
Oh.
But yeah, it's hard to say how he meant it, like distress or joy. I don't know. Also, fun fact, it's the official motto of Iran and Iraq. There you go.
Yeah.
But Hassan uttered these powerful words and began his massacre.
Damn.
Yeah. He started by simply kind of spraying bullets out in a fan-like motion, not really seemed to care like who or what it hit at first. And then he started targeting specific people. So Army Reserve Captain John Gaffney tried to stop Hassan by charging him. He was unsuccessful and unfortunately fatally wounded in the process. So that's his first victim that tried to stop him.
Yeah.
And of course there's a few because they're brave men, like they're army soldiers.
Absolutely.
So, it just makes it so sad. So then an Army Reserve specialist named Logan Burnett threw a folding table at him and was shot in the hip. Yeah, but he took cover. The folding table made me really feel like it was some everyone's trying to charge him. I'm like, this feels like a WWE tables, ladders, and chairs match. They're all fucking just going at him, like throwing tables at him. Like they're fucking going for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be like, do you guys have tanks? Like,
right.
fucking.
I know. Like, if you had time to sit down and think about how to, like, defend yourself, you should be one of the best people
Yeah.
to. But it all happens so fast, you know?
Yeah, and if you, I mean, it's 2009, you probably aren't expecting it. I'm sure they have like procedures in place, just like most
Yeah.
companies have like fire drills. These are what happens if this type of emergency happens. I'm sure they have more plans in
Right.
place nowadays than they did in 2009 for these kind of things, unfortunately.
I know. It's sad because they definitely would have already been dealing with school shootings and stuff, but you still just never think it's gonna happen to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so this was kind of weird. At this point, Hassan had the chance to shoot what were obviously to him several civilian like workers, so not soldiers, but he chose not to. So
Oh, okay.
he's like obviously targeting actual active soldiers now. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
approaches a group of 5 people who are all civilians and pointed the laser sight at one man's face before sweeping it away again and just moving on. Just must have been so fucking terrifying. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
3 men were then able to escape by breaking a window at the back of the building. One was the Major Parish, who he had requested to see.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess he got warned or was able to figure it out before he came, out. And then 2 other soldiers escaped with him out the back window. And next, the attacker, Nidal Hassan, encounters the base civilian police sergeant Kimberly Munley. Something else I read gave her a different title, but anyway, she definitely worked there. She hears the shots and sped over, where she then exchanges shots with the attacker, Hassan, with her 9mm M9 pistol. Then some shrapnel struck her hand, followed by a bullet to her thigh and then her knee. So she was starting to fall as the second shot hit, and he kicked her weapon away.
Damn.
But although it took me a while to find it after in the lists, she was not killed. So she did survive.
That's crazy.
I know. She was
Good for her. She's like the first one that I guess like had a weapon at least.
right. Other than a
and was
fucking whatever was at hand, like a folding table. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because she was
and was
an
like
on duty.
engaging with them.
Yeah. That's why I think they called her police for the base or whatever. I think she was actually allowed to.
Because if you draw his attention, you become the next target. Like,
I know, that's why it's so brave for anyone to attempt to stop someone who's actually shooting like this.
Yeah, you're just drawing. You're drawing the line of fire directly at you.
You don't know if you're going to be the last one to succeed or if you're just going to be another casualty.
Yeah.
Ending up outside the facility now, he continued to fire at fleeing soldiers, whereupon the building was able to be entered by some first responders to help the wounded because he's now outside. And as some of them recalled, the floor was just like slippery with blood. They had trouble walking.
Damn.
It's gross, right? It's just like paints a picture. Others started attempting to help. There was one soldier who was able to secure the south doors with his ACU belt. Must be some sort of utility belt. His Batman belt. No, I don't know.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. To kind of, block the entrances and provide first aid where he could. A man named Herman Toro, who was director of the, here's the acronym for it, the SRPS Center, arrived on scene. He sprang into action, helping another worker grab a Lieutenant Colonel Juanita Warman, who was lying on the ground north of the medical building. So she was injured. They start dragging her to the medical bay, but Hassan suddenly is just looming over them, like right on top of them.
Jeez.
And he's pointing the gun at them, and he hovers the red laser over Toro's chest, he's one of the people trying to drag her away, but he doesn't fire. He
Yeah.
just moves on.
Weird.
I know. The parts to me are like, oh, really scary, like I'm watching a movie. It's just like, whoa.
I would have nightmares if
Like, why not?
you had a
Yeah. Like, why some people and not others? These guys are soldiers. I don't get it.
Or why like point the thing at them and then just walk away.
Right. This is when okay, so yeah, after he hovered the laser sight across Toro's chest, Toro took cover, watching as civilian police sergeant Mark Todd confronted Hassan. So I think at this point he's like maybe the third or fourth to confront him. Got a few people, tried to charge him at least.
Yeah.
Mark commanded him to stand down. Mark remembers, then he turned around and fired a couple rounds at me. I didn't hear him say a word. He just turned and fired. Mark fires back, so does Hassan before he runs out of bullets. Which is always, by the way, the thing that gets Pat in any movie when they're like firing for way too long and he's like, they'd have to reload by now. You know, like they make it unrealistic. Like where he's like, you know, fired many weapons and know how many, you know, probably rounds most of them should have. Like, you know, right? Most little revolvers have what, like 6 fucking bullets? Like,
yeah.
I know he bought like 3,000 rounds, but he can't have had that all on like in the chamber.
Yeah, he doesn't have them wrapped around him.
Rambo style.
Lugging all that around. Yeah, like he can't. Yeah, I was watching some reactors react to the John Wick movies, and that was one of the things they were talking about was people, and they're like, no, you can actually see him when he runs out. He is like searching somebody and grabbing their weapon and then uses that one till it runs out. And it's like, yeah, like that's what you would do. Yeah, it's not one magic gun that has some spell on it that keeps reloading it.
Yeah, whether the directors intended all that stuff, but I know that Keanu took those ones real seriously and, you know, did a lot of firearms training. And then I remember listening to he was on Smartless, and I think Sean Hayes asked him about that. Did he call them action sequences or something? I don't know, but like it's like the only time Keanu almost sounded like offended where he was like, oh, stunt sequences. I think he goes, oh, you know, like you took the stunt work so well. And he's like, no, it's not stunt work. It's like us doing action sequences. Like,
yeah.
Or he's like, yeah, we do it right. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, they're crazy.
I'm like, okay, yeah, you like really did all the, you did all the moves. I get it.
Yeah.
What's so funny on the show? Sean was like, oh, sorry. The action sequences. Okay, so finally we have the confrontation between Mark Todd and Nidal Hassan, where Hassan was stopping to reload. He had to turn to reach into his pocket, and just when he has to partially turn, that's when Mark Todd sees his chance and fires 5 shots right in a row. Bam, 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 bam.
Good, yeah, drop him.
Yep. Finally, Nidal Hassan fell down. He was very seriously injured. They didn't probably know how much yet, but he was still alive, so Mark kicked away his weapon and cuffed him on the spot.
Okay, good job.
Fucking finally, right? You're like, God damn it, you did
I would
it.
have been like, oops, accidentally shot you in the knee. Oh, here's one in the hip. Sorry, oops, my finger's slipping.
I mean, he got
one in the foot.
hit at least 4 times. He got hit. Yeah, he got hit. He was down.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, the whole mass shooting took less than 15 minutes total.
God, it probably felt like a whole day. Like,
Right? And the deadly total, like in those, I think one thing said it was only almost like 10 minutes, but like by the end, 13 people were dead and 33 were injured.
Jeez.
All right, so I'm going to try and put you guys out of our collective misery as soon as possible, but there is unfortunately still a little bit to get through. Victims, a little bit of the trial and kind of that stuff, but honestly, there is a quite large like Wikipedia page, as I was telling Kelsey. If there's anything you still have questions about at the end of this, there's a lot. Yeah. So Hassan had to be hospitalized into intensive care, and was in a coma basically from that point at the Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, which is almost interesting that you get someone to survive. A lot of the times they take the death by suicide by cop route, you know, they're not alive to be tried most of the time.
That's why I said shoot him in the knee and the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was alive to be tried. He news reports said he was comatose on the 7th. He eventually regained consciousness on the 9th of November. However, I just want to stop and go through the victims that he, killed, so they will never regain consciousness.
Yeah.
So 13 in total. Like I said, it was one of the most deadly, or the most deadly on a military. Is that what I said?
Wild.
Base, yeah. So number 1 was Michael Grant. Is it Cahill or Cahill when you see that last name? I never know. Cahill?
I'm not sure.
But he was killed. He was charging. He was, I think, the first one that was trying to charge Hassan, and was killed in the process. He was 62 years old. There was Labardo Eduardo Caraveo, age 52, whose rank was major. Justin Michael DeCrow, who was 32 and a staff sergeant. John Paul Gaffney, 56, a captain. He was another person who also charged the shooter in an attempt to stop the attack. Yeah. Frederick Green, 29, a specialist. He was the third to charge the shooter. Jason Dean Hunt, a specialist who was only 22. Amy Sue Kruger, 29, a staff sergeant. Aaron Thomas Nemelka, 19, private first class. Michael Scott Pearson, 22, private first class. Russell Gilbert Seeger, 51, a captain. Francesca Velez, 21. This was rough. She was a private first class who was also 3 months pregnant when she was killed, so her baby was also killed.
Jeez.
I know, that really got me. Juanita Lee Warman, 55, lieutenant colonel. So that would have been the woman that they were trying to drag away to safety, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, and then he like trained the sights on them and then didn't kill them, but I don't know.
She
and
must
then
have been,
finally,
like, too injured from the shot. That.
Yeah, and he, remember, almost killed the guy that was dragging her away, but then just didn't for some reason. Yeah. He just like put his gun, trained it on him, and then away. And it's like, what the fuck? And the final victim was Cam C. Zhang. I'm probably saying that wrong. 23, private first class. But I did note that among the survivors was the first female officer to try and fight back at him with her service weapon. So that was Kimberly Munley. She was the one that was hit twice in the leg, in the hip, I believe, in the knee.
Yeah.
And she was along with 31 other survivors who had been shot and injured. So a lot of wounded. Yeah.
Good for all the people that like charged at him or tried to fight back.
I know. It makes me do comparison. Not that I know a lot of details, because looking into all the school shootings in the US is very depressing, but like, you know, like they don't have anybody trained, and like somehow they get stopped before they kill a bunch of people. It's like crazy that this one had you're at a military base where you're all trained soldiers, and yet like he was just so well armed and caught them so off guards that he was able to kill so many before they could get him down. It's so sad.
Yeah. I remember one of like the active shooter drills that happened it would have been in my high school. I remember doing them sometimes in middle school. They weren't a thing when I was in elementary, but I remember doing a couple of them in middle school, and they were weird. They didn't go as hard, the ones that we did in high school. Like they would normally find somebody that had like one of the teachers or even the principal that had a break, like they didn't have anything. And when they planned it, I remember one of the times we were in gym class, and there's 2 gyms, so to get into the second gym you had to go through the first one. So like the plan was like, it ended up working out. We were in the first gym when the drill got called, and so we had to like lock all those doors, the teachers did, and they like ushered us all through the first, like out of the first gym into the second one, and then out of the second gym into like the supply closet. So we were behind like 4 sets of locked doors, and we were all just like, you had to sit on the floor. It was quiet. There was like 50 of us because it's like 2 classes and a couple teachers. And I remember it was probably 20 minutes to half an hour, because they were like, it was kind of an assessment to see like all the different classes, like how prepared everybody was. So they were sending them around. And when they got to us, I don't remember if they did it anywhere else, but they started like banging on the doors from the outside and stuff. And we all started like a bunch of the people started freaking out.
I didn't even think we did that here in Canada.
Yeah,
Ryan's
they did
never
it.
talked about it.
Yeah, they did it for our class. And I remember them banging on the doors. Yeah. It was like wild. We're just like, what? Like we were freaking out.
Yeah. Maybe there was a lot of, just when it's in the news a lot, I guess, and stuff. Maybe they're like, well, I guess we should just err on the side of caution and traumatize these kids by banging on the doors too.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember only having to do a couple of them in middle school. And then, we did probably one almost every year in high school, the 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But it was only like the one time that I remember them banging on the doors and stuff. And they started freaking out.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I've never had to do that. I never had anything like that. I don't know if it's, obviously there's like almost 10 different years between us in school or whatever, but also I was on, I was going to say, when you said we had 2 gyms, I'm thinking of my elementary where we didn't have one. We had to go down the street. We were so poor. I don't know if we ever would have got around to drills in New Brunswick, but maybe they do them now. I don't know.
They probably do them now.
I'll have to ask Rain too if she's had to go through any of that in her classes. Yeah,
it would have been right around like that time. Or the first one probably would have been about 2008 or 2009. So it would have been right around the time of this case, I think.
Oh jeez. Rain was
Kinda
born in
started doing it.
2007. So I was like, this was nowhere. I don't remember hearing anything about this. I've even mentioned a couple things to Pat, questions and stuff when I was doing this case, and I don't think he'd heard of this at all. Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, yeah, so like I said, there was some more after stuff. Hit by 4 of the shots fired at him, Hassan was paralyzed, I think from the chest down, actually. I wrote the waist down, but I believe that's not correct. Arraigned on July 20th, 2011, so it took a little while, charged with 13 counts of premeditated murder and 32 counts of attempted murder under the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Well, yeah.
So, you ever hear about people being like court-martialed or whatever? That term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure what it means, but I have heard of it.
Yes. I've only ever heard like he was court-martialed or like kind of in that context, but basically it's just apparently tried before a military court is what that means.
Okay.
Yeah, so I learned that like his court-martial started on August 7th, 2103. I think I mean 2013. A little typo there. So a court-martial is a trial conducted in a military court. Due to the multiple first-degree murder charges, he would be getting at the very least, life in prison, but death penalty was on the table. And at the start of his court-martial, he declared, "I am the shooter," to the panel of 13 senior officers conducting his trial.
And they responded, "No shit."
Right.
We all know.
I read that and had to include it. I'm like, you are insane.
Yeah.
Jesus. Fenrir, you and your big butt opening my door. He went on to say, "The evidence will clearly show that I am the shooter. The evidence presented with this trial will show one side. The evidence will also show that I'm on the wrong side. Then I switched sides." Yeah, buddy, that's why we don't let you represent yourself, because it's stupid. You say stupid things.
Then I switched sides?
I don't even know.
Like, to the good side? That doesn't even make sense.
I wondered if that's what he meant.
It sounds like it, because he said I'm on the wrong side.
Right.
And then I switched sides.
Yeah, what does it mean? What does it mean?
Huh. That's bizarre. Yeah.
My dog just fully opened the door with his butt. I thought I had it closed. But let me know if you can hear any interference. Staff Sergeant Alonzo Lunsford, shot 7 times that day, was unimpressed, as they would say on Wine and Crime.
Yeah. Damn.
One of several victims who took the stand that day to testify, he talked about his horrific experience at the murders that day. Quote, "It was a state of panic," Lunsford said. A civilian doctor, Michael Cahill, tried to hit Hassan with a chair to stop the shooting. Hassan shot him dead. Soldiers tried to flee or take cover inside the processing center as Hassan fired dozens of shots. As Lunsford was checking behind him, "Major Hassan is turning the weapon on me," he said. "He has a laser on his weapon and it goes across my line of sight and I blink. In that time, he discharges his weapon. The first round, I'm hit in the head." A second shot caught Lunsford in the back. He decided to play dead for a while before changing his mind and deciding to run for the door. He made it out of the building but was shot 5 more times outside, he testified.
Jesus.
Right?
Like, that's
Get
wild,
out.
being shot 7 times, including in the head and in the back.
Right? How?
And you being able to play dead and then run away.
No, he's good, buddy. He's just sitting there now. Sorry. Hassan continued shooting at Lunsford even as he was he just keeps shooting at him. Hassan continued shooting at Lunsford even as he was receiving first aid outside the processing center before police arrived. Like, what the fuck?
Damn.
Insane. You'll be glad to know he was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to death on August 23rd, 2013. Well, I don't know if you'll be happy about that part. That's controversial. Death penalty, but I can't see a more deserving.
I would sentence him to be, I don't know, strapped to a bed to live in an empty room and stare at the ceiling with no form of entertainment for the rest of his life. Just stare at a cracked ceiling.
Solitary confinement forever.
You can be fed through a feeding tube. Fuck you.
Right?
Oh.
I don't know. Nothing that I could find had his death date, so he may still be on death row.
Damn.
I know, this was like 10 years ago now that he was sentenced.
I mean, it takes a long time. They do tend to keep them in prison for quite a while before they get executed, so.
True. Fatal fact? No. At the time of his sentencing, he became just the 6th person on military death row at the time.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a lot of like his motivations and some motives and stuff that obviously were found out post, like in the investigation, all on the Wikipedia. His possible motives, there was his imminent deployment, his stress with the soldier stories that were coming back from war, his giving away his furniture. He'd also given away copies of the Quran prior to the attack, and he'd prayed with a Muslim officer the morning of the attack, who said that his demeanor was untroubled, but the officer also does not discount the notion that the attack was motivated by a sort of religious radicalism.
Yeah, it definitely seems like his perception or his way of thinking had warped to a certain point.
Yeah, I put that, like, in my opinion, he couldn't seem to rectify his work with his faith, and there was things where he said he couldn't kind of come to terms with, like, if as a soldier he had to kill another Muslim and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, dude, I don't know, you signed up for it, but oh shit. Motherfucking thing.
Yeah.
It fucking booted.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just saying, I was like, dude, you signed up for it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not
also
a reason.
It seems weird if you're taking that stance and stuff that he would, you know what I mean, like target those around him instead of just himself. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just very limited thinking of the way of, well, I don't agree with this, like, war anymore, so now I'm gonna kill my fellow soldiers who are set out to fight it, just like I am. Like, what? That's not gonna stop anything,
yeah.
Like, you can be maybe what do they call it when they're like a dissenter and they don't want to go to war, and you're like a conscientious objector, and you're like, no,
Yeah.
fuck you. I'm not gonna go to war. But this is not the same.
But I think the first step would be talking to somebody about it, telling them that you're having problems,
yeah,
and stuff. Like, because it sounds like when they kind of talked about stuff, they said, oh yeah, he had been acting strange at work and that kind of stuff that some people had noticed. So I'm sure if he had come to them about stuff, they'd be like, oh, this isn't coming out of nowhere, and other people have noticed this. No. Like,
no, and that's always the thing, is what can we do before the fact, because they did notice he was stressed out about what he was hearing in his role as a psychiatrist for soldiers, and
Yeah.
Also, which I haven't told you yet, but he became like kind of on the radar because the FBI was monitoring this imam guy's emails, and he was another Muslim. His name was Anwar al-Awlaki, and they like at one time just had him on their list as a moderate Muslim, but at one point they were like, no, he's more of a radical cleric. So like they knew that he was
Okay.
emailing Hassan, and they were like, oh, let's look at these and see if they're dangerous. But they were ultimately like, no, he's just kind of asking mundane religious questions about his life and being a Muslim soldier. And they weren't militant, quote unquote, in nature. They were more about spiritual guidance. So they, deemed them as like not
Huh.
dangerous.
I wonder
But
how
it's
close they
tough.
were watching him then if they didn't notice he
Yeah.
bought a semi-automatic weapon. Like, that would be
Right,
a
right,
little
right, right.
strange. You're like,
You
oh,
think
we're
that's
we're watching and monitoring this person. Oh, they just bought an automatic weapon. Oh, maybe we should look into that further.
right, or they were at least monitoring the person he was emailing a little bit more
Yeah.
closely. So it's tough because he did clearly respect this imam person of this other mosque, but this person denies ever urging him or anyone to do violence. Yet other people's like an undersecretary of Homeland Security named Charles Ali said that he targets U.S. Muslims with radical online lectures, encouraging terrorist attacks from his new home in Yemen. And that was
Oh,
about this guy he was corresponding with. And
lovely.
another man, like this Bruce guy, was like emailing a known Al Qaeda sympathizer should have set off alarm bells. So like too little, too late. But they're like, gosh, maybe we should have taken more of an interest in this correspondence.
Yeah. It's wild how many of like the mass shooter type things that you look at, and like
Yeah.
99% of them have a whole trail of red flags leading up to the event, and it's like, well, like,
Yeah. Hindsight's
it's
2020, totally. It always seems so much easier looking back. Yeah.
yeah.
But still, yeah, you're right. Like the trail of
But it's
flags.
like even like single murders, that kind of stuff, unless somebody's like a
Yeah.
career criminal, it's like a one-off thing, and a lot of times people don't see any of that coming. Yet the mass shooter
True.
things seem to almost always have like such a long trail of stuff leading up to it.
Yes. Like a
It's like,
simmering till they reach their boiling point. Yeah.
yeah, like it's, I don't know, it's very weird to me that they seem to have a trail, and a lot of
Yeah.
other people that are doing crimes also involving killing people or killing like single people, that kind of stuff. It's like a lot more out of nowhere where they don't have as much of a thing.
Yeah, it can be like
Like,
hardly anything to go off of.
yeah, it just seems weird to me that, like,
Yeah. Because when you put it all together, he's got some emails. Then they also started looking, because, like I said, after the fact, hindsight's 2020, they can start looking at his internet posts where he's saying some suspicious and concerning things about his opinions on like suicide bombers, where he wrote
oh,
in,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely that.
Not a great look for him to say in May of that year, 2009, that a suicide bomber is, it was something like they're essentially the same as a soldier falling on a grenade to save his brothers or his fellow soldiers,
Oh,
which I cannot wrap my head around.
I think it's like a sacrifice for the greater good of those around you or something. Like,
Yeah, by killing some other people. It's like, okay. Yeah, he
yeah, I
definitely thought
think
it was more
it's,
of a noble cause or whatever.
yeah, I think it's like
Hmm.
people that haven't been radicalized just like can't quite wrap their head around like how somebody can, I don't know, I think it goes back to like viewing certain groups of people as not quite the right kind of people anymore, and therefore like their deaths don't mean the same thing as like certain other groups' deaths would, so that yeah, if I kill a bunch of these people, like that it means I'm saving these people, so these people don't matter, or their deaths don't matter as much if these people are getting saved.
Yeah, and like it's somehow discounting some lives is worth not as much as others, or justified, or whatever. Yeah.
Which is kind of like him targeting the military people that were on the base as opposed to the civilians on the base, because they hadn't wronged him. The civilians hadn't wronged him. They weren't going to be fighting against his people or his country or whatever.
Which is just like, bro, but you are signed up for the same thing. Like, what are you thinking? It begs so many questions. And you're like, yeah, you were smart, you're a psychiatrist, but I can't figure out how your brain made you think that was okay. I don't know. There's like, basically the rest is just like, there's people calling it the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil since September 11th. But then also, if the military called it a terrorist attack, they don't really have that term. So they were calling it like a workplace violence incident. But then the victims and their families were like, well, that doesn't give us as much benefits as if you said it was actually like something where they could be like awarded a Purple Heart, like when you're hurt in battle. It was like all this controversy and like,
well, I mean, it seems like it's religiously motivated, and everything. So I would say, that sounds more like terrorist attack than like workplace. If you're saying he's like radicalized and all that kind of stuff, that normally doesn't matter in the workplace.
No, they're just forgetting the domestic part, because when it's like somebody who's your own citizen and they're committing an act of terror or hate crime or whatever, you're like, no, that's domestic terrorism, bud.
Yes, absolutely. Like, and it can be perpetrated by people who were born and raised in the U.S.
Like, that's right, as he was.
Just as much as people that have immigrated over their families.
Like, no, exactly. And like, yeah, I think in the end, I even wrote too much. It's all on there. The fallout, the like, eventually they fought for them to get some sort of Purple Heart designation so that they could get more benefits for the families, which I'm like, good. Change whatever wording you need to just to get them like the benefits they need. And and just like I was like to Pat today, I'm like, I don't think I can read any more about this. This Wikipedia page goes on forever. There's like the 2011 something plot. I said there's the 2014 shootings, which I said I don't even know what that was. I didn't have time to get into it. But like the fact that it has multiple on its Wikipedia page, like these shootings, those shootings, and then like also it had another scandal at this the Fort Hood base that was if you can believe it, a sexual assault prevention officer on the base, a guy named Gregory McQueen, who was dishonorably discharged in March 2015 after having been convicted of organizing a prostitution ring as a sexual assault prevention officer.
Oh my god.
I was like, I'm glad they like changed the name of it now. It's not called Fort Hood anymore after the Confederate General John Bell Hood. It's this is in Texas, by the way, which took me like my whole research to figure out that this was all in Texas. But
that makes a little more sense about the guns now.
Oh no. And finally in 2023 it was renamed as Fort Cavazos, along with other ones that were renamed by the naming commission, so presumably ones that were named after like Confederate generals and stuff. So now it's named after General Richard E. Cavazos, a native Texan and the U.S. Army's first Hispanic 4-star general. So that's kind of fun.
That's nice.
Plus, so now there can be no more Fort Hood shootings because it's not called Fort Hood anymore.
Yeah, they can besmirch that poor Hispanic general's
officer
name instead. Is that a good
Or I'm
thing or a
hoping that
bad
just,
thing?
yeah, their bad karma is just done now, maybe.
Jeez, that's like getting rid of the 13th aisle on a plane or something.
Yes.
It's like, really, have you changed anything? If you've had 3 mass shootings at one military base, maybe that base needs to figure their shit out.
I
Like,
know, I kept thinking, like, maybe they should just close it, but I guess it's the same thing as saying, like, there's so many school shootings in America. Maybe they should just close their schools. Like, I don't know. It's not really a
yeah,
solution.
yeah.
But we don't know what is the solution. So, on that note, no. Hope you enjoyed all that for
Damn.
Remembrance Day, Veterans Day week.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is good.
It's
Like, I like
sad.
to, yeah, it is. I like to like read the names of victims and things where I'm like, I didn't even know this happened. So like now at least I feel like I have the collective knowledge of, oh, going forward as humans, let's know these mistakes so we don't repeat them if we can.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. That's the only way I think things will ever get better is the more people talk about like tragedies and the signs and stuff to look out for.
But in a way of like a loving, like, let's come together instead of let's be
Yes.
divisive and go apart, because that's how,
No, it needs to be focused
yeah.
on like helping people and like when you notice the signs of somebody's like demeanor changing, trying to talk to them about it or anything, because sometimes
Yeah.
that's all somebody needs is just somebody to talk to them and yeah, just say, oh, I'm having a really bad day, here's some stuff.
Yeah.
And everything, even if you can't fix it or anything, most of it's just listening to the person and being like, oh well, like things will get better or that kind of stuff. Or
Make sure your psychiatrists have their own psychiatrists to talk to. Yeah.
yeah,
So
like
their little Kenneth brains don't get overloaded. No, that sounds demeaning, but you know what I mean. Like, he needed help, and maybe if he had got it, this could have been prevented for sure.
yeah, it's crazy. Well, damn,
Tell me about it.
this will be a long episode. I don't know how we're gonna release this.
Yours was an
Mine
hour
was
or
like,
so. Oh shit.
I think mine was like over an hour. And then your
Okay.
first part was over about an hour, and then this one's gonna be about 40 minutes almost.
That's how I felt trying to edit the last one all as one episode. I was like, wait, we recorded in different parts, and now I feel like I have 3 parts to edit. And anyway, as
Yeah.
it turned out, it's like by the time you edit it all down, it was like an hour and an hour or some for yours, and then I was like, oh, okay, and then I edit mine. It's like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but
Well, damn, I can't remember. What did we pick for next week or the week after? If this gets
right.
split, who knows?
Ooh, psychics. That's
Yes.
what yeah.
A bit of a lighter episode.
Should be.
Yeah.
Let's hope less murders. Anyway.
Yeah. Maybe some frauds.
It's possible.
Some fraudsters. Mm-hmm. That's always interesting. But
Hear my kid muttering to
you'll
herself.
have to tune in and check it out
Yes.
next time.
Do it. Do it, do it, do it. We love you. Keep it cryptic. Let us know what you want to hear. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
All right.